So we have two things going on. We've got Charlie and Nemesis in the facility, actually in an examination room, and Nemesis has just hacked in, found where a line shunt should go, and Charlie has placed it. And we've also got some possible impending violence up on the ship. What would you guys like to start this session off with?
Violence.
Yeah, let's go ahead and see if androids manage to destroy the ship, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, because if we need to buy a new ship, we need to know about it ASAP.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't. Because the ship is destroyed. Who would tell you?
We'll probably hear pretty quick about our ship blowing up.
It's
probably need to
fine.
buy a new
We'll all just pack into the Marauder
I'm
and go around that way.
also pretty sure it will come up on the data slabs.
Yeah, probably.
It's blown up. Oh well, that's not a good thing. You're not supposed to get that one.
I mean,
The good
you get some warning earlier than that. You get some kind of warning of ship has suffered catastrophic damage here, ship has suffered catastrophic damage there, and then no more warnings.
Yeah,
Who's
the
our train in a
good
fight?
good
Can we get a
news
replacement one?
is the good news is we'd all know immediately who to blame.
Jai.
No, I'm down here on the planet.
It was your fault for leaving the android alone.
You know what? That's actually probably a fair point.
The responsibility does lie with the leader.
All right. Android,
Upstairs.
you're in Nova's room. She is still laying on her bed, facing away from you, pretending you don't exist. And you've called Tina over to your location.
Yep.
There is a beep at the comm, and announcing Tina's presence. Nova bolts upright and glares at the door. And I'm waiting for you to respond to that beep at the door. She is asking for entrance.
Well, Android would open the door.
Alright. Well, Tina comes in. Nova launches from the bed
Mm-hmm.
and is trying to clobber Tina. There's a little bit of space between them, and Android is, of course, also between them. Is Android's trying to intervene?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Wait, what did I do? What did I do with that link for Duel of Fates? I can't find it. I'll just have to hum it.
Here we go with this. How's that?
Not even close.
It reminded me that I wasn't signed into Roll20.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I'm not trying to do Duel of Fates. That's silly. That's a silly song.
Duel of Fates is an amazing song, and if you don't like it, you can shove a double-sided lightsaber up your butt.
I mean,
Is that the Star Wars nerd equivalent of "you're canceled"?
No, it just like I don't care what you do with that information after you shove a double-sided lightsaber up your butt.
It's impossible. You cut your hands off.
No, it has a handle.
it doesn't have to be on.
Well, we don't really need to go into detail about how you would shove a double-sided lightsaber up your butt. That's probably, content warning. Okay. Android, go ahead and well, let me give you more explanation. Nova is launching off the bed. She is taken 3 steps and literally leaps in her attempt to shoulder past Android at Tina. How is Android going to try and intercept this? It's a little bit too loud.
You know those nice things in the movie when someone lunges, you grab him, literally in midair, and just slam him on the floor
Okay. She
with my
is
face.
She is some 70 to 80 kilograms, and while Android is strong, Android is also not much heavier than that. So let's go ahead, and this isn't an automatic success, is what I'm saying here. Let's go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, I'm using her own momentum against her. If she lunges, that's
Well,
momentum right there. And just
perhaps
direct
I
it downward.
misunderstood. Are you trying to stop her from moving forward?
Oh no, she gets to move forward, but then she gets to move down to the floor.
All right, so basically, she's letting her move forward, and then she's making an attack against her to knock her down.
Yeah, sounds about right. Let's go ahead and get either an exert or a punch skill check, using dex or strength.
Punch it is.
Yeah, I think
Wow.
that succeeds.
Yeah?
Oh my god.
Are you trying to inflict any damage on Nova? Or, sorry, are you trying to inflict more than the incidental damage on Nova?
No.
Okay.
This is purely to basically restrain her.
Okay. She still suffers a little bit from that. Tina takes a defensive step back, and Nova isn't done. You've merely thrown her on the ground at this point.
Now she has the low ground.
Yeah, that means I have the high ground. Yep, basically restrain her, immobilize her.
Okay.
Think arm lock or basically arm bar.
Yeah, I get that. I want to go ahead and have you do one more punch strength check. Okay. You were able to restrain Nova. She does manage to grab onto Tina before Android can. Tina's foot before Android can get a hold of her and knocks Tina off balance. But Android is able to restrain her and prevent any further aggression. Although Nova is slavering and straining her cybernetics and her own bit of natural strength to force and twist herself out of Android's grip. She is also screaming, "Let me go, I will kill it."
You will not. You will desist.
She is not desisting.
But thank you for cooperating in this experiment. This is what I needed to see.
She is now refocusing her efforts on trying to injure Android.
Okay, just keep trying to restrain her there.
Okay. Why don't you roll me one more punch strength check? And then we'll call it good at that. Okay, not as good. Android takes 3 damage as Nova is taking more injury to herself to reverse headbutt Android and basically straining at Android's own servos. She has strength, much more strength in her cybernetic arm, and it is going to take a bit of retuning and patching up at those shoulder, elbow, and various other joints that she's actually managing to strain, as well as the little bit of a ding from the back of Nova's head into Android's face.
Oh, that's fine.
Easily something that could have killed any normal person that had tried to do the same.
That sounds like a personal problem.
I'm just pointing that out to show that she's not trying to restrain herself at all. She is trying to escape from Android and is lashing out as effectively as she can. She continues yelling and cursing at, well, it sounds like she's cursing at Tina. She has switched to her native language. And she is also doing this through trying to repress tears.
What is a native language?
Symbolic Trin.
Oh yeah, I speak that.
Uh-huh.
No, you don't. Go home.
Android would actually turn to Tina. Do you speak her language?
No.
That seems ineffective.
She tilts her head. I'm sorry, can you repeat that? It is hard to hear each other over Nova screaming.
She would just repeat it at a louder voice, or
Okay.
well, Nova has to get some breath at some point.
Tina responds, "It is. We have not been able to learn it. There are no texts on Trinita Shade that we could access."
No texts anymore.
Well, this at least seems to have been insightful.
After a bit, probably at about this point in the conversation, Nova is actually running out of breath. And her efforts to escape Android are weaker, but she is not relenting. Well, they're weaker and relenting, but she's still trying, is what I should say.
Well, that's just like that kid that throws a temper tantrum when you just sit on them till they're done.
Mm-hmm.
Same principle.
Except
You're not in charge of any children, are you?
Wow.
the difference being that this kid it is going past the point where a kid would have just stopped to catch their breath. Nova's. Go ahead and give me a heal check. Int heal.
I don't know about flesh people.
You've observed enough. Yeah.
I know where to hit him.
It's possible that if she continues like this, she could injure herself.
Well, at some point she's gonna stop one way or another.
How long do Android and Tina continue talking while Nova is restrained?
Probably just a few minutes more. Android is just gonna thank her for.
Okay. Within those few extra minutes, Nova does injure herself. You hear a wrenching, and she cries out in pain. Merely renews her efforts on her other side. She has dislocated her fleshy shoulder, or twisted it, or done something over there that is going to need medical attention.
We'll see who runs out of sides first. But yeah, at some point Android will just thank Tina for helping this experiment.
Tina
We'll
looks
talk
at
later.
Nova I don't understand, but I feel like
I
we
had
should
to
stop
see-
this experiment.
Oh, the experiment is done. But
Why
I had
haven't
to
you released
ensure
her?
that she would still try to damage you. I will
Can,
not permit either. I would not have permitted you to harm her either.
can you not
I
lock
had
the
to
door?
see which side would. Andor just looks at the damage Nova has already caused to the quarter.
It's unlikely
Some
that
form-
she would have been able to break through the door.
Oh, no. It's
Okay.
just the point of it. Coexistence needs to be established. I now know that you don't have hidden protocols to just attack her on sight. And I think we have established her reaction.
Please release her before she injures herself more.
She will try to cause harm.
Uh,
I cannot partake in this experiment anymore. And Tina starts walking away.
uh. Well, I'm glad Tina thought this was getting kind of.
Just a real oof.
Oh dear. Well, that went better than I had expected.
Tina more
Did
human than android.
Did it?
I mean, yeah, I expected one or more of them to end up dead. So
Yes, especially showing Nova which one of the two is the compassionate one.
And that was Android's plan all along.
Yeah, I mean, they can't be enemies with each other if they're both enemies with you. Oh, wait,
that
no.
has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, of course they can.
Does Android release her now that Tina is gone?
Well, has she stopped?
No, she is not.
Yeah, she would actually ask her. Will you stop violence if I let you go?
She's not really answering questions right now. I mean, one could say that the answer to that question is no, because she does not stop trying to escape from Android.
Well, at some point, she's gonna pass out,
Okay?
oh dear.
I would imagine. But if she doesn't respond and just keeps struggling, then no.
Unless she has that revenant wiring.
That only triggers when she actually dies. So let's hope that doesn't trigger.
Well, I mean, nobody's watching the android right now.
I mean, they might have a variant that triggers when they go unconscious. You don't know. Well, I mean, Dex knows, but
Very
Well,
true.
Guess you'll know soon.
Alright, let me pull up my character reference document here. Where are you? There we go. She does eventually pass out. Where is Nova? Huh? Hang on. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
Oh, I haven't transferred her over there yet. Alright. She is still in my GM journal. Because right now there's still more story notes than character notes. Let's see.
well, I can't imagine Nova likes Android after this. Huh.
If only we had our HR representative still here.
Huh. I thought I had listed failure chances in there. That's as good as any. All right. Yes, she does eventually pass out from shortness of breath. She has choked herself to unconsciousness, essentially, with a combination of Android restricting her airflow and the immense amount of effort she's putting into her exertions. And she goes limp in Android's grasp, although Android can tell easily enough if she checks that she is still alive.
Well, she would actually just get her to the med bay
Okay.
to get her fixed up.
Hmm.
All right. If I recall, you guys do have straps in the med bay for situations like this.
Yeah, this is why we have them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's more for prisoners. It was established in the previous season that your med bay can treat prisoners safely.
Makes sense. On a cruiser like this.
Yeah, definitely on a military cruiser like this. Yep.
The only problem is that the doctor is not in.
The autodoc can do quite a lot on its own.
Oh, we do have an auto doc. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, if that was the only reason you kept Shy around, you don't have to.
But obviously, an actual medical doctor is better.
In
Why?
what way?
Better for experimenting.
Well, better in the sense that, well, you've got what is essentially an alien, a human alien, on your ship. There are certainly some things that your autodoc is not equipped for.
So you just need to reprogram that a little bit, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, essentially, you can get some reference data for it. It's definitely something you can find.
I mean, sure. We're just trying to get her fleshy bits and everything fixed up.
Yes, the autodoc will start working on that. She is not so non-human that it needs any special references for that. Is Android doing anything else?
She's gonna oversee the process.
Okay.
I mean, it's the classic. The treated patient wakes up and then goes on a rampage.
Oh,
You don't just leave.
yeah, she definitely would.
So you don't leave people strapped down in a lab of some kind. That's just asking for a video game.
All right. I'm gonna take a quick in-character tangent while before switching back to Nemesis and Charlie to have a message sent to Jai by Walter.
Uh-huh.
He is he's let's see. He says that he has found something important and wants to talk to Jai. Wants to talk to him.
I asked him if it can wait like an hour or two until we're out of this facility.
You get a text message back saying, "Oh yeah, sure, Doc."
Perfect. I'll talk to you as soon as we're out then.
All right.
So long and thanks for all the pills.
Is that how you think Walter speaks?
It is.
Okay.
What? That was a perfect mimicry of him.
Sure.
He would never call me a doctor.
Yeah, that's the part I really drew the line at.
I disagree with that. He has in situations where Jai has actually been helpful to him.
Okay.
He has used called him Doc in times where he is grateful or otherwise in good spirits about Jai. Unless I'm misremembering.
No, that sounds about right.
Charlie and Nemesis. Nemesis is at the computer. Charlie is walking back from the reception area. One moment, please.
Holding.
Are we changing musical
Holding.
gears?
Yeah, we're not in a fight anymore. Now we're in a heist.
Well, you say that.
Look, he
Oh,
put out
okay, good.
he put out a content warning. We have to have 30 minutes of discussion about 18-year-old girl's floating holographic body thing.
I guess.
I mean, you can't just put out a content warning and then not do the thing you're warning about.
I mean, it's a possible content
can.
warning, so it doesn't
Yeah.
have to have the content.
Yeah, the nature of the game is everything's subject to change.
Well, that was more specific because Twitch has a rule about no nudity, and this will be venturing into theater of the mind nudity. So I just wanted to cover myself.
I mean, you could just cover the
So you're
hologram.
not nude?
Right. Just say there's a black bar over this.
Yeah.
That makes no sense given who you're dealing with, but
Is theater
Well,
of the
I
mind
mean-
nudity still nudity?
They don't want to look at my fleshy bits any more than, because of how racist they are.
no. We're gonna make that content warning good
All right.
without going too far on it. Oh, excuse me. I was trying to breathe water again. Still not working.
That's not how you
Are you
clean out your
serious?
lungs.
I will refrain from saying anything political right here.
I feel like by saying that you weren't going to say something political, you said something political.
Yes, but I was being sly about it.
Were you?
Alright, Nemesis and Charlie. With that line shunt in place, Nemesis has access to this terminal, and she can see that this terminal does appear to be linked with other terminals, other medical terminals at least, in this building, as well as whatever server this terminal is hooked up to.
All right. So I think first things first was us trying to assess security.
She tries finding any kind of security access server information and isn't able to.
Damn, they took that sort of precaution at least.
The only thing that she's seeing here seems to be medical data.
All right. Well, then I guess we'll just see if they have it. I'm gonna guess probably the security is completely disconnected from all that. Then, probably the information on the new body stuff is too. But I suppose I'll try finding that. Since I'm here.
Sorry, still dealing with that water down the lungs pipe. Windpipes. Lungs pipe? Yeah, that's it.
Works.
Well, once she gets past the coding language, everything is in Xiaowu.
Huh. Boy, howdy! I just need translator programs from now on. Step 2.
um, That's not actually too difficult of a thing. As long as she's willing to access their internet, it's easy enough to just run things through translator. That's more for
Yeah,
flavor.
just Google. Just Google Translate basically,
Mhm.
or whatever. Was it Scarab Translate? Sure.
Yeah, Scarab Translate.
Because really, I don't really need to be able to read the contents. I just need to be able to identify whether it's related to that or not. That's all I'm interested in.
Mhm.
Because I'm not going to be the one to understand any of it. So can I find anything related to the new U body sleeves, not?
Yeah, it looks like you do find a couple of different directories, essentially, with that kind of information. Excuse me, hang on.
Just copy and paste those over to my storage unit.
Okay, I think I'm good. What she sees and is able to translate through her data slab is what look like divine sleeve, elite sleeve, and upgrade sleeve data.
Well, a divine is probably the whole androgynous thing. Probably what the bad doctor was.
That's the one with the missile that comes out of its butt.
I think it's one that doesn't even have a butt.
No, they'll have butts. It's the other sexual characteristics that they don't have.
That's fair
Are
enough.
butts a sexual characteristic?
All butts
Well-
are gendered.
We're not going to answer that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a question for the philosophers.
However, I will answer in the context of these people. There's a lack of diversity in butt types also among
God,
the more androgynous.
this is a little silly. But
Yeah,
go on.
tis a silly place. We should leave.
I can't tell if this is better or worse than the tag I actually rolled up. The tag I rolled up for this was misandry or misogyny.
So you
And
just did both.
yeah, I was like, I don't want to deal with either of those. So what if I just take it right down the middle? That way, nobody from one side can say that I hate females or that I hate males by creating this. That I just hate everyone by creating this.
These people are like 2 steps removed from being grays.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I guess anyway, unless there's anything else, I would stop there. Do you need me to roll any checks for that?
Yes, actually, you'll need checks to be able to download any one of those files or databases, really. Let's see.
Probably don't care about. Honestly, I don't know if we. I'm going to assume that divine is what these people consider. So, since I didn't find any connection to any security stuff, I guess we'll
You
do.
sure it wouldn't be the elite there?
Yeah, I'm thinking the elite. I'm thinking the elite first and then upgrade. But then again, how about elite first and then divine? Why not?
Okay. Each of these attempts is equivalent of a get general information, so it's a base difficulty of 10. You've already determined that their systems are. Hang on, real quick. Are a little bit better protected than your typical home security system, and you've already made one attempt through them, so you've got a +3 difficulty on each of these checks.
Is there any
on this first
reason not
check.
to just? Is there any reason not to just go for a complete database acquisition?
Time, really. That requires you to be there and decrypting and downloading for at least an hour.
All right, we'll just do the elite then. I think get in the middle of the pack. That's
Okay.
my executive decision, and that'll be it.
All right. Go ahead and roll int program as hacking.
Hey, I think that's right.
Yep.
13.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll hold.
All right. It takes a few minutes, but you hang on.
Water down the windpipe. Operation.
Nice. Yeah, I'm over it, but apparently my body is not. It's still like, oh my god, that happened. We have to do more stuff.
Yeah, it just it lingers way too long.
Dude, yeah. It's like the water is gone. Windpipe, just stop doing everything you're doing and breathe normally.
That's basically what I did last week, actually.
That's where you sucked at eating, so I suck at drinking.
Yeah.
um. Okay. Yeah, it takes a few minutes, but you're able to pull down this very specific set of files. Of course, the reason that the complete database acquisition takes an hour while each of these is only taking a few minutes is that the complete database acquisition is indiscriminate. It doesn't care if it's useful data that you've identified here or if it's all the background infrastructure that makes this data available on their terminals.
No. I can discuss that later.
In the scope of mechanics, that is the case.
I'm actually sorry, but I don't really know how this works exactly. But could you have gotten information or like a very basic information on any one of those things before you made your decision? What sleeve type you wanted to download?
Yes.
That's a fair question.
With answer a specific question, the risk with that is that every single time you hack, the difficulty of the next one goes up by 1.
Right. Okay. So even after you've gotten access to the database, you don't have access to the database, I guess.
Yeah. This system does not do hacking like real life. It doesn't assume that because you've hacked in that you
I
just
guess you
have
can
full
kind of
access.
assume. I guess in this case, I guess they have internal security.
Yeah,
Whereas
that's
a lot of systems, once you're past the outside security, you pretty much have full access.
that is the case.
Versus this system doesn't do that.
Assumptions here are that there are continual and active security measures straight there within the programming. It's one of the reasons for the line shunts. Now, this access that Nemesis have will last forever or until that line shunt is removed.
But the difficulty of the checks have increased to the point where it's not really plausible they can get anything with that.
I don't think it's worth the risk now.
Yeah, your next check, if you want to get any more of these sleeve data, will be at 14.
I guess I could do a specific question about one of the others. That would be difficulty 12. I think I still have my
yes.
reroll for the scene, right?
You do.
Yeah, I guess I can do an answer. See if I can't get like a general review of the divine sleeve.
Okay.
And won't be able to get this any more detail, but
You'll at least know what we're missing out on.
yes, exactly. Oh, it was a 14, of course. That's the nature of gambling, folks.
That is the nature of gambling. So, from what you can see, based on essentially you're having to go with commented code and translations, the divine sleep data.
The metadata.
Yeah, exactly. The divine sleep data is it is their highest end, most expensive, and most exclusive, and most androgynous sleeve type.
See, I knew the last part was coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the absolute highest amount of genetic abnormality to it. And I don't really feel like that's a whole lot of information to have merited this role. So, is there anything specific in addition that you'd want to know about this?
Me personally, does it have? I guess I'm curious. Like, do they have anything that actually genetically improve intelligence stuff like that as part of it?
That's something that someone will have to discern by actively going through the data with a genetic mindset.
Okay. I can ask a nonsense question.
Can what?
I'll ask a nonsense question, but not nonsense, but a not important one.
Well, if you go on that, I can think of one other bit of detail to provide to you instead of unimportant detail.
Yeah, I can't really. If I can't really discern, like I said, the genetic enhancements.
Okay.
Or what those would enhance them, yeah.
This piece of information will be kind of useful across the board. Well, not useful, but is relevant to all of them. And Nemesis can see within the data that some of them are marked as active and others are marked as in holding or inactive.
Oh, so this includes record of who has those.
Doesn't include record of who has them. It only
okay.
marks it's a binary. Yes, this is available, or no, it's not available. And among the divine sleeve data, there are
models.
Hmm?
You're talking about model numbers kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah. Each of these sleeves is apparently a unique ID. And the divine sleeves have far more sleeves available than in use.
Okay.
I was just gonna say the difficulty of any further hacks is increased by 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna hold there.
Okay.
I've gotten pretty lucky at my rolls.
All right. There is equipment in this operating room that you guys could break down and put into carryable format.
If Charlie wants to get into that, I can help him with it. But
something you could do is just steal the hard drive on that computer and then look through it later for anything that's been recently accessed.
I would assume it's a terminal. There's not a hard drive for that.
Yeah, there's no hard drives anymore. It's all in the cloud.
Well, it's not in the cloud, but a terminal doesn't need a hard drive. All it's doing is accessing a server.
It's all on the server.
Go rob the server.
The hard drive would have local internet files and temporary files.
Now, if we found and broke into the server room, then they could get a hard drive of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
They would also definitely notice that very quickly, I imagine.
I mean, it's something you could do.
They're gonna notice something is up as soon as oh hey, I can't access this anymore. See the IT guys look at it. Oh, the drive's missing.
I guess you better quickly skedaddle after you do that then.
No.
Was the point of this that I was never going to be able to use this after we're done? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, I thought we were just going to figure out everything we wanted to figure out and then sell it. I thought that was your move.
No, this is my move. You wanted to sell this. I want to have it because I think you're going to get us all killed.
Yeah, I'm not going to sabotage our operations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well, then let's switch the scene.
You're not going to become a Tachikoma with this method, Zoe.
Yeah, but I'm
Hold
also
on,
not
that could.
not gonna die in some sort of foreign land that you take us to for no profit.
Now hold on. I haven't looked at the information I got on the elite sleeve yet. That might be the Tachikoma one.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll go with that.
sure.
Let's switch the scene over to Jai and Nemesis. Not Nemesis, Zoe. Both females with reddish colored hair. You're both the same, right?
Wow. 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 Totally different.
Dr. Aya is bringing up something on that table in front of you. A bunch of control panels with all of the text and the writing and characters all in Xiaowu. Even if you don't speak Xiaowu, you kind of have a feel for some of it, at least as far as where piloting and starships go. Xiaowu is used frequently Xiaowu symbols are used frequently to quickly and effectively identify various parts of things.
Yeah, so if we have ever seen a modern day exit sign, it's been in Xiaowu.
Yeah, exactly. That's the kind of reference I'm going for.
Okay.
Dr. Aya looks over at Zoe. I'd like to begin with the inspection of your present body or your sleeve.
Sleeve first.
Very well. Taps a bit and does bring up a nude holographic depiction of Zoe LaRue. It's life-size. Taps another button on the table, and the table starts to sink into the floor, bringing that holograph to eye level.
God,
And
is that what I look like from the back? Jeez.
I'm afraid so.
I have to do something different with my hair.
Oh, is that what you were looking at?
What were you looking at?
Your hips are very
Perfect.
feminine.
Boy.
Just the right size.
Dr. Aya kind of does one of those hand motions, waving, and the holographic body spins very quickly and then slows to a stop. You may inspect any level of detail. Does another hand motion, and the skin of this body fades away. You're seeing Zoe LaRue with only muscle layer.
Sick.
Kind of an improvement.
Can you run me through any improvements over baseline that this sleeve will provide?
Yes. Some more hand gestures and a couple taps on a wrist computer, and the holographic body takes back its skin, is moved to the side of the table, and in front of you is a little readout of genetic data, as well as some notes. Dr. Aya kind of goes over those notes and says that the improvements are resilience to illness and disease. Dr. Aya looks past the display at Zoe, which I do assume is why you were here. He goes back to looking at the display. And kind of hums. Well, it looks like your father's instructions were quite explicit.
Did he give me the basic ass package? Come on, Dad.
No, he paid for quite an advanced package, but insisted that everything be as age progressed would expect it to be.
I didn't even get younger with the new. Oh, come on.
Duplicate.
Wait,
may
no,
I,
I'm.
may I?
Wait, hang on. I'm 18. I wouldn't say that. I'm already the perfect age.
I
If
Zoe,
you
may I see the?
Good.
I assume. Yeah, it's already up for you, right? This
Oh, I
hologram's
thought
not just appearing for me.
I thought she handed it, or I thought.
Oh no,
I
this
thought
is
Zoe
this is
handed it directly to.
all a holographic display. Yeah,
Okay, I
both of you can see it.
misunderstood then. All right.
This is very minority report.
Yes.
I'm going to go ahead and start examining the genetic data using my superior knowledge.
Okay. Is there
of
anything
this.
that Jai is trying to discern from this?
Exactly what details compared to what he's already observed of her genetic data, what might have been altered, and what genes in particular might have been altered.
Okay. This does not require a roll from you. Jai is able to see, and especially since they've actually got the sequences listed out in that extra information,
Mm-hmm.
he is able to see that a couple of alterations have been made to immune response, suppressing some responses and making others more aggressive. Just looking over it real quickly, it should actually do as Dr. Aya has said, but it's nothing major. It's just rooting out for some of the few diseases that haven't already been effectively cured, or not cured, but that are effectively no longer an issue with advanced and self-evolving medicine. The common cold is still a thing in the future, but the medication for it it has its own self-adjusting algorithms, so that it can actually be effective against whatever mutations the cold has gone through since that medication was issued.
I realized I just muted myself.
Oh, gotcha. That's okay. I was
see
talking.
If I could, I'd like to scroll over a bit and see if there have been. So, in a lot of cases, we have issues with genetic predisposition to certain personality traits in real life. I want to see if there have been any modifications to those.
Okay. Does Jai actually have Zoe's genetic data on his data slab?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, he's a doctor. Why wouldn't he, right?
Well, I mean, he's a doctor who specializes in genetic medicine.
Okay.
It's literally his job to look at my.
So you're saying that someone could just steal your data slab and have that data?
Yeah.
I mean,
Clone their own Zoe.
I mean, they'd
Yeah.
have to hack it.
right.
Or just take his thumb with them. One of
But
those is
to be
easy.
fair, there are like her genetic data is all over the frickin' place because there are so many things that require genetic scans. So
Now, I actually I'm going to go off on a tangent on that as well. That thought occurred to me over the week, and I don't particularly like that. So, the GID stuff.
Hashed. It would be hashed.
Well, it's not only it's hashed, but it's also and this is, I don't know how much this will help any of you except for Lulu over here. It's like paternity testing. It's only looking at a certain subset of genetic markers. Has to do a few more than modern genetic testing because they have another parent, and they've got 3 people to compare those to. But yeah, out of all the possible genetic markers, those GIDs only look at a few, and the main reason that I kind of went down this rabbit hole is I actually don't want the different agencies to be able to necessarily share that data. So Union uses different GID markers than Galactic Mandate does, than Mercure Corps does, etc. They all have their own GID database that is incompatible with each other.
Still, that's useful to know and might make things easier to spoof in the future.
That's why I wanted to be able to do that also, so that you're getting caught by one doesn't catch you by all.
Mhm.
Not trying to kill
Anyway.
you in the world.
Well,
Or am I?
Anyway.
Uh,
Yeah,
But
my
the,
question.
yeah, Jai does have a complete record because, well, he's probably the one that took it in the first place, and he didn't spare any expenses on that.
No, he did. Like the very first thing he did was have us all go in and stare at our.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's like the first thing he
That's
did
right.
as an
Yeah.
awake person.
Yes.
I had you all do physicals, and I took genetic data. Yes.
He scrolls over to the markers that he's aware of that have the most impact on personality, and they all match the data that he has.
I'm just as much a pain in the ass once I get cloned.
Well, I mean, I figured she'd want to know that if her dad wasn't trying to brainwash her.
Yeah. Sure, that's why you were checking. Uh-huh.
No, it really was.
Dr. Aya is watching where he's going, and with a little bit more deference, not a whole lot, but just a little bit more deference, volunteers, the Scarab Temple Protectorate, and does not allow for any personality alterations.
Well, in this case, that might be a relief. Okay. Feel free to go on. I'll keep examining this for now.
Very well. Dr. Aya points out that while this sleeve is age progressed from the date of receiving this genetic data up to the current age, it's also capped at 18.
Sick. I have a question that might be stupid. I ask her. What happens
my
to
question stupid?
what happens to the person that is in that body?
You mean
'Cause,
you?
I mean,
And points at Zoe.
no. I mean, you grow in a brain. Function of brains is to have consciousness. What happens to that brain? You know?
These sleeves aren't the flesh and blood that you've been walking around in. They are
Well,
synthetically grown, but near 99.97% similarity to human experience. But the brain is even more synthetic than that. The brain is the deviation. We implant a trineural network. Is that what I called it? I think that was what. Yeah. We implant a trineural network brain, which has no consciousness or memories.
Gotcha. So
Hang on a second. I actually wrote stuff about this too. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, because this is my big worry is I don't want to be killing people to take over their bodies, even if it's technically my body or whatever.
Okay, hang on real quick. Huh.
Although I probably original Zoe probably wouldn't care as much.
Well, we don't know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe she cared a whole lot more, and she was just very
She just hit it.
aggressively.
Yeah, she just hit it better.
Yeah. Like, we don't know. Maybe past Jai was a philanthropist who only sought to help people with his medicine. Maybe past Walter was stable.
I mean, I'd argue that regular Walter was stable. He just, he had a hypochondria, but of the mind.
Okay.
He convinced himself he was sick.
We don't have any remaining other crew members that are human, so
Yeah. I mean, maybe the android was helpful once.
it's possible.
No, that's strange credibility.
Yeah. No, that's yeah. Oof.
I'm willing to believe in many things, but that's not one of them. No.
Now hold on. Her actual owner was on the crew in the past.
And clearly left her behind. I wonder why.
Okay, yeah, you make a very good point.
Yeah, compelling argument. All right, can we once we get this question answered, kind of skip through the rest of this? I don't really have
Right.
any other questions.
Well, I've got a few that probably need to be
Oh,
answered
okay.
in character, but otherwise, yeah, Jai can just go through all the actual scientific details without really us discussing them.
Yeah, that's fine. I appear to have perhaps overwritten some of my information because it's not here.
But the long and short of it is they grow a body and then they put in a fake brain and then they upload me to the fake brain.
Yeah, there's there's something called a cortical knot, which is a cluster of neurocells. Neural. I had this typed out. Neuro something cells. It essentially acts as a backup. That also serves to transfer what information it has to an empty trineural network. There's a whole lot of safeguards in there to make sure that it doesn't try to upload again into a trineural network that has information already, because of course they had some issues with that early on. It creates horrendous results. But yeah, it's similar to the cortical stacks from Altered Carbon, except it's a cellular cluster that can become cancerous and develop into a tumor.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah.
Is this the same kind of fake brain that androids have?
It is.
Gotcha. All right, I'm out on new body.
Did the music stop for anyone else?
I have it turned off all the time now because it keeps distracting me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I don't hear it.
Yeah, it's not on.
God damn it. Interesting.
Was that the loop or?
It is. It's playing on my side. It just appears to stop on the client side. Well, not client side, but player side.
I don't know. More Roll20 nonsense.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
Do any of you actually care about the music?
It's good sometimes, but like I said, I turned it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm going to re-reload my Roll20 on the client side there, see if that fixes it. Alright, what specific questions did Jai have?
I think Zoe had one more question.
Okay.
No, that was it. My question was
Oh.
about the weird
All right.
brain stuff. I wanted
So-
to know how they were putting me into it.
Okay. So I was wondering, would we be able to make any modifications to this one at this current state? Not do perhaps a germline modification, but more standard genetic therapy to alter the design as it is.
Well, not within this contract. If you want to, if you're speaking of purchasing Scarab
Well-
services,
I meant more upgrading this contract. I wondered if it was modifiable.
this contract is not modifiable.
In the case of separate contracts, what is the extent of the services you provide? You said you explicitly is it couldn't or are not allowed to make changes to personality traits.
That is not allowed to.
Okay.
That is Scarab Temple Protectorate law, and this is a Scarab Temple Protectorate facility.
Naturally. But what other limits exist to the modifications you provide?
Dr. Aya thinks. Well,
Dex, thanks.
yeah, Dex was actually listening for music again. Sorry, it's continuing
Oh.
to distract Dex.
The lack of music distracts Dex?
Yes, because Dex was trying to fix it. Dex decided that instead of having the music that comes through Dex's microphone broadcast from the main GM Roll20 screen that I control right in front of me and have up all the time, is going to have it coming from the stream screen so that I can hear if it's not playing and try to fix any issues. Because as far as stream quality, having some kind of music in the background is a pretty big boost, as long as it isn't actually distracting.
Sure.
So that's why I'm putting that kind of attention on it, but it's working for now. And that means that I've forgotten what the question was.
What are the what other limitations exist in the services you provide?
Gotcha.
And I guess to what extent can we modify or improve the body, and not just these more aesthetic
Aesthetical.
differences.
Well,
but
Uh,
more
divine sleeves are reserved for only the elite among Scarab. You will, and Dr. Aya gestures to theirself, you will not be able to have this glory.
That's not what I care about. Like I said, I don't particularly care about these aesthetic differences. I want to know what concrete improvements can be made to the human form by your system.
Well,
Inside there.
genetic improvements that have been made include muscle tone with reduced mass, stronger bones and cartilage with reduced frame size. As you see with this model here, improved immune response. Doctor goes on to list several other kind of general improvements. Not too many of them, in fact, really none of them. Let me take that back. Not too many of them affect intellect or mental ability, and those that do are still wired into the body, their nerve responses, and automatic stimulus response type things that where the body reacts according to its own set of coding before the brain can actually say, oh wait, let's do it this way.
Okay. So they haven't really made many improvements to cognition, really.
They have not.
All right, and they haven't really made any more. They haven't really stepped into more esoteric fields of human modification, I guess.
They have not. Based on how Dr. Aya is telling you, and the level of detail Dr. Aya puts into certain topics, their program has been to improve the body while balancing that improvement with aesthetic considerations. Obviously, if they just skip the aesthetic considerations, they would be able to create things like the bro.
Right.
But that's where their focus has been, on making better people that look better to them.
All right. So they've been curtailed by their obsession with these aesthetics.
They have.
Well, I mean,
They've been distracted from their true potential.
it's sort of understandable. Jai understands a desire to maintain some level of aesthetic sensibilities, but to this extent, it seems.
Well, let's
Like an
flip this
absurd-
around. It actually seems more to Jai like their focus was on the aesthetics. Everything else was icing on the cake.
Right. Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, gotcha.
Jai understands some focus on aesthetics, but to this extent, to ignore the vast number of other improvements to make something truly greater than human, or something, well, if you want to get into it, other than human, seems overly, well, limited in their thinking. Still, he's happy enough to just make a lot of inquiries on the scientific aspects from here on in while other people are doing things.
How long does Zoe let this go on? With her naked body just kind of spinning over there on the side.
I mean, we haven't heard word back from the bros yet.
The bros. No, you have not.
So, we'll continue, talking about different.
There actually are a few things I want to ask about Zoe's current state and how long ago this contract was made, whether other similar contracts have been made before involving Zoe or other members of her family, assuming they can provide that information under the standard, patient
Right.
doctor-patient confidentiality and so on.
Well, Dr.
So,
Aya is
cloner relationship.
Yeah.
Dr. Aya is good in that respect, and will not divulge any specifics except for with regard to Zoe, but says that many of the most influential and financially influential and elite persons in the sector have restoration contracts.
So Dex, out of character, would you say that Zoe's dad seems healthier than he should be for someone his age?
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
Dr. Aya gives you a little bit more information and even gestures dismissively at the roof and says, "That's what all that garbage, human garbage, up there is."
I'm sorry,
Oh.
could you clarify that?
Yeah.
People trying to get.
Yep. Essentially,
the people in orbit.
somebody in marketing thought it would be a good idea to open up the criteria a little bit. and instead of holding a very, very strict and tight control over who is offered this kind of deal for purchase, it was sent out the way Dr. Aya describes it, very haphazardly and recklessly. This will do more damage to trust and our economy than good. Especially with those galactic mandates up there shooing them away.
Well, speaking of, do you have some agreement with the mandate or perimeter to do these things, or is it's supposed to be under the radar?
Which things in specific?
Oh, just the modifications in general. To the extent you're already doing them.
That would be a Scarab Temple Protectorate of a different division that I'm not privy to.
Okay, out of character, I'll go ahead and ask then. Dex, would Perimeter have to know about this, and would they try to put a stop to it if they did?
What she's describing isn't technically Meltech. They're with the limitations that that they have described to Jai. No personality modification, generally only improvements. This isn't making slaves of humanity. And the fact that it's only available to the absolute wealthiest, it would get a lot of pushback against Galactic Mandate if they took any issue with it. Galactic Mandate still has to look at that bottom line.
Right.
But
would Galactic Mandate like it?
It's not that's not a question that is easily answered. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, Dex. Tell me the political opinions of every single captain and admiral under Galactic Mandate employ.
I will say that Galactic Mandate has no known position on the issue.
Okay.
How does Perimeter feel about it?
Perimeter has no known opinion on the issue.
How does the android that works for no, I'm just kidding. I mean, I guess I could call her up and find out.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't actually fall into Meltech, so it wouldn't even hit Perimeter's radar, unless, of course, there are things that Jai is not being told.
Okay. So I'm going to go... Can I try to discern whether there are things I'm not being told?
Yeah, you can roll a notice wisdom check.
I'm not gonna help you on this one. I can't.
Would I be able to use my eclectic memory?
Oh, did you get level 2 of that?
No.
Oh.
I'm asking if I can use the standard version of it.
You've actually already used it on this topic, even though that was last session. So
Okay.
I'm going to leave you with that.
All right, so probably not then. All right, I'll go ahead and use notice. If I can get it to work, which is another question. Yeah, that's literally the highest I can roll on that.
It certainly is. All right. Yeah. There are definite indicators, although Dr. Aya is really good. Jai is still able to pick out various nuances where Dr. Aya is very carefully considering their words before putting them forth.
What areas are those on, I guess, so I know where to pry?
Those are on the the genetic areas. Sorry.
That's very, very vague. I can't actually follow up on that because of how vague it is.
I'll be a little
What
bit
it-
more specific.
Yeah.
In general, when talking about genetic modification, improvements, and otherwise, Dr. Aya is very selective of words. I guess I would say that Jai notices it a little bit more when it does come to areas that could, if they did things differently, venture into Maltech or illegal territory.
All right, let's go ahead and ask some more specific questions then. Say, has there been work done or individuals modified according to this extremely specific thing that does just cross the line, and so on?
Dr. Aya is good on that level as well, in that they decline to answer, citing that they can only really discuss what's right in front of them.
I'm asking for my own benefit, of course. I'm interested in possibly getting a separate contract going for my employer, Sir LaRue. Once this one expires, of course.
Dr. Aya looks at Zoe. Is this a line of questioning that you wish to pursue?
Yes. I mean, I didn't bring him for his good looks, you know?
Clearly.
You know what? I'm going to just ignore that.
Okay, and how
Never
close...
mind that I'm the hottest person on this damn crew.
And how close to this is possibly Meltech is Jai's inquiry going?
I'd say starting off with close, but not quite crossing the line, to just over the line, to slightly further if they seem amenable to those.
Well, I don't have the exact answers, me personally, so I'm going to abstract a bit.
That's perfectly fine.
Dr. Aya is still holding a very careful line here. They will vocally veer away from anything that goes against Scarab Temple Protectorate law. Those laws appear to have been carefully constructed to avoid letting any of this get into or become Maltech.
I see.
There's some questionable practices with regard to trading off current benefits, current improvements for much greater risk to offspring, which the Galactic Mandate would probably take some issue with, although they would have to find legal grounds for it. But that's about as close as Jai can get Dr. Aya to pushing those boundaries as he can without some kind of roll.
All right, let's see what. Well, I mean, come now, Doctor. We're both scientists here. I simply want and we're both doctors here. I simply want what's best for my client, and even with these laws, we both know they are more restrictive than they could be in certain areas. Surely you too have been, and I'm sure many others have been interested in exploring beyond them in the past. Perhaps we can discuss doing that again.
Let's
And
go
could
ahead.
I roll like talk maybe?
Yep, you can use talk. I'll even let you use intelligence for it.
Okay. Talk. Doot. Int. I'm gonna re-roll that, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
well,
sure
whatever.
did.
Yeah. I
Ma-
rolled a 7.
Maybe you should specify next time that you're going to re-roll the dice and get a higher result instead of
Yeah.
just re-rolling the same.
Well, 7.
That is not sufficient to get Dr. Aya to speak outside the bounds that they've already established. They're absolutely willing to have Zoe go in for a current inspection to get a current genetic scan and make sure that everything is that they're using current genetic data instead of age progressed data, and talk about improvements and modifications that you want to make to this sleeve, but is not willing to go outside of any of the fairly restrictive Temple Protectorate laws.
Okay. I guess we could probably see from their other sleeve data that we've managed to collect. There was... Oh, shoot, there was one more thing I wanted to ask. But now I'm blanking on what that was. Oh, wait. I wanted to ask you, actually, could I observe what genetic data you already have, Zoe, prior to the sleeve collection? If Zer Laruk permits.
Can you explain that to me? What genetic data they already have? Basically, the data that they currently have from 12 years ago.
Yes, I want to see whether there have been any changes that couldn't be explained by simple mutation in that time.
Dr. Aya leaves cedes control of the screen to him. Shows him how to bring the genetic data up in the full view instead of just in a small windowed view, and stands idly while he navigates that.
Okay. Yeah.
I engage them in conversation about, I don't know, night spots,
Night spots?
nightclubs.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay.
Things Zoe would know about.
Those are stars, Zoe.
I thought you meant like some sort of rash or something.
Yeah. Well, you guys don't get the night spots? Acting like you're better than me?
I might have to name a drug after that.
I was gonna say, who's acting?
Yeah.
Dr. Aya's happy to.
Basically, what I'm doing is I'm distracting her from
Yes.
the fact that whatever the hell Lulu's doing. I don't know.
Oh, there's
got that.
nothing that you need to distract me from. I'm just comparing your old genetic data with the genetic data Jai collected and see if
Yeah, but Zoe doesn't
there
know
were any
that.
modifications.
Yeah, you're doing weird science stuff. I don't know. I'm trying to be helpful.
Okay.
Yeah. Dr. Aya is receptive enough to small talk. Why don't you go ahead and give me a talk charisma check?
Okie dokie. I'm not worried. Why would I be worried? Why is it not going? Why is it not?
Just keep hitting the roll button over and over
Oh
again.
yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna get like 50 rolls all at once.
I want to see the dice.
There we go. Yeah, that's not
That
great.
went well.
Dr. Aya is politely receptive.
Yeah, like she knows she's trying to make a sale here,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm just trying to kill time, obviously.
Yeah.
In no way am I trying to distract her. Whoa, why don't you look over here?
She's more interested in what Jai is doing, but she points out she responds appropriately to Zoe.
Okay. Well, I tried.
Or they. This actually is a female, sex female.
Well, they identify as they, so
They
we'll
do,
use
yes.
they.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how I would ask that, so I'm just not gonna.
Okay. Alright, do Nemesis, Charlie, Zoe, or Jai have anything else that they are doing in this facility?
I did. Is the mutation thing for Zoe? Were there any genetic modifications between?
Oh,
when the-
sorry. Nope. Their age progression appears to be pretty solid. Their copy is only a few markers off, and those markers on Zoe's side are just natural mutations from exposure to environment.
Right. Okay. So standard stuff. That's good to know.
In fact, they've actually even accounted for some environmental predictions.
Oh yeah, the blemishes are in the right spot even.
The blemishes aren't exactly in the right spot, but if
They're close.
They're a little smaller than your actual ones are.
Well, I'm sure they've got my good side in this hologram.
Oh, they did.
I mean, they got all sides, so technically,
Yeah.
yes.
It's got to be in there somewhere.
Mostly on the inside. Let's see.
Oh, are you saying that Zoe has a heart of gold?
No,
I'm
he's
saying
talking
she
about
had-
the blemishes.
Actually, I was talking about right there. I was talking about her lungs, but
Yeah, those are certainly working effectively.
yep. What was I going to ask?
No
Right.
idea.
There's another client of mine. I was wondering if you had any interaction with Miss Portia Lynn.
How many clients do you have?
Currently, in the past, it's a little unclear. That's kind of the entire point.
Dr. Aya thinks for a moment. That name doesn't ring a bell, but of course, even if it did, I would not be able to answer without a signed agreement, signed
Of course.
disclosure.
I just thought I'd ask. I'd lost most of her medical data and was hoping a different hospital would be able to transfer it to me. There's been some issues that I won't get into. Still, you've been extremely helpful. I'm sure we'll be in contact again at some point.
I look forward to when we can upgrade your sleeve, Sir LaRue. Or if you prefer, sink you back into this one.
All right.
Just to be clear, they're calling me Sir LaRue.
Yes, they are.
Sir.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, they're
'Cause if they're calling Jai that, I was gonna have to draw some boundaries.
Oh no! They're calling Zoe by the non-gendered honorific, and she gets a sense that it's because she has tried to downplay her femininity by her choice of clothing.
Yep.
And she's been
Well,
respectful to them.
I have also been knighted, so it makes sense.
Have you?
I might have been. You don't
Well,
know.
this is Zur, Z-U-R. It's the equivalent of Mr./Mrs.
Hmm.
Oh, I thought you said sir. That's why I was very confused.
No, it's Zur.
Gotcha.
Anyway,
All right. Anything
I-
else from Zoe and Jai?
nope.
All right. If we've killed enough time, I'm ready to leave.
Yeah. Have Charlie and Nemesis made any decent robberies in the meantime?
Let's go back to them. After Nemesis collected that data, would she have sent anything to Jai to let him know that she's kind of reached her limit?
Probably not while we're in the building now.
Okay.
We didn't really plan this ahead. That's really on Jai, not me.
Right, and you guys don't have a comm server, so you would be using the local grid.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
I might eventually. I mean, depending on how long they're in there, I might eventually send. I was like, "Hey, y'all done yet?" But that would be after a good long while. Like,
Dude,
after
I mean-
sitting outside.
Do Charlie and
Yeah.
Nemesis wait in that operating room, or do they return to the waiting?
I was thinking if Charlie wants to, get the medical equipment, which I'm could care less about, but I can help him identify and nab some. But otherwise, if Charlie doesn't have any interest in that, then I don't really have any interest.
Knox?
Knox?
Did we lose you?
Oh, he might have.
He fell asleep. He's
Uh,
gone.
Sounds like it might be likely.
if you're trying to speak, Knox, we can't hear you.
blink twice if we need to come rescue you. Yeah, I think he fell asleep.
I think they're asleep.
He did mention very late night. I sent a
Right.
ping. I'll leave that kind of as a group decision. Do you guys want to disassemble equipment here in this room?
I'm sure he's. I don't know if he disassembled equipment. I'm sure he stole a few things that could be squirreled away, basically.
Yeah, I tried to think of what kind of things that would be valuable and just laying around in a medical setting, and maybe I just haven't been to a doctor's office recently enough. I can't think of anything that isn't just medical equipment.
Yeah.
Like-
he gets that jar of cotton balls, you know?
Right?
I mean, the expensive stuff like like the X-ray machine. It's like, well, that's not in every room usually.
No.
Like that's usually a dedicated room.
I mean, ideally, I don't think there'd even. Well, if there's no like sleeve related stuff in here. Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
Is he-
Dude, if you need to go sleep, then please don't keep pushing yourself on our account. Go ahead and sleep.
Right, sorry about that. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks then.
Let's see.
Next week it should be, because next week's still August.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Shit. Sorry.
That's fine.
Next
Go
week.
get some rest.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
No worries, dude.
That's fine.
It's just what we do these days. This is life. You go
Right.
get some rest.
Bye.
But there's actually a decent amount of fairly small, still incredibly valuable medical equipment, and especially if you can get into their well, not necessarily pharmaceuticals, because that presumably be in a different section, but chemical supplies tend to be a lot more expensive than you'd think they'd be.
Okay. Well,
I have pretty easy access to things that one really like it's about 200 microliters of it costs around $1,000. I can just pick that up and walk out with it if I really want to.
Yeah,
Okay.
but who would you fence it to?
That's actually the problem.
And presumably they would notice it at some point.
Unlikely, but it's possible.
So we've got one vote for no, just leave everything as it is. What do the rest of you think?
Oh, I'm saying just grab some small like chemical or like
Okay.
electronic stuff.
So
and
you're a
then-
yes, and Xander's a
Oh,
no.
He gets that chloroform.
Nick and Meowican?
I guess I'm not like absolutely opposed to it, but I'm not voting. I wouldn't vote for it, so I would say abstain.
Abstain? Nick?
Wait, what are we voting on again?
Basically, what direction do Charlie and Nemesis go with regard to taking things of value from this examination room that they've used for hacking?
For immediate gain.
I'm
Well,
again.
I
I'm
feel
just
like
saying.
that's totally up to them.
It is, but I'm making it a player decision because Charlie, the one who would be doing it, is this player's not here.
He went to go take a nap.
So I'm getting the group player consensus.
I'm basically just saying they're not going to steal much value. I'm just saying he's probably going to steal
Yeah,
some.
not dismant. I think the verdict was not dismantling equipment to do so.
Right, they're not dismantling equipment. They're just stealing like.
Yeah, the
you know,
grabbables.
They put a defibrillator down their pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuff you can palm and stash away.
Hold on,
Like
Philly trigger it.
Stuff like that, yeah. That seems to be more based on precedent.
Yeah.
First aid-
Well, I
first
mean
aid
that
kit.
does seem to be what Charlie does, which I don't blame him for. It's a viable means of getting some extra payment, and Jai doesn't actually care if he does it. So, yeah.
Okay, that sounds more or less like Nick is in favor. So we'll say that Charlie does nick some things. No pun intended.
Oh, you're so funny. Anyway,
And I will come up with the value of what he got later on, when Nox is able to do some quick rolls for it.
But for now, let's get the heck out of here.
Indeed.
Yeah. Office plan.
You guys are Aya, Dr. Aya thanks you both for being civil and respectful, and even includes Jai in this.
Look, she's not a bureaucrat. Jai's not going to insult her.
And
Or
says
they're not
that
a bureaucrat, rather.
they would be happy to receive you as at the facility here again in the future.
Cool.
You're escorted out, where Muzi is still waiting for you at the car. And I'm going to give you a quick description of the drive back to the cordon. Some things that were not as visible on your drive here due to certain structural layout decisions. And then we're going to take that break. As Muzi is driving you back, and as you're driving away from this, it's not exactly central of the city. You're actually this facility was Uruk Temple East, so you are actually on the east side of the city. The Muzi drives you back towards the center, where the building, the architecture becomes more grand. What I was describing last session as the buildings that span upwards as glass towers, and even more than that, these towers are like continual structures going down this main east-west thoroughfare all the way to the Uruk Temple East, the building that you just came from. You can look up and see that most of the residents and business and whatever else is happening in these buildings, work and living, is done several floors above the ground. as you approach nearer to the center, they kind of move out of eye shot, or at least without really craning your neck. These buildings basically waste a lot of space by only occupying the top few floors. And there are bridge structures between them so that whoever is living and working up there never actually has to come down to the ground. Although you do see elevators that go up and down, those appear to be for common workers, people that look like you and me, and not people that look like Dr. Aya. As you're leaving this city, you get to the center of the city and you start traveling south, or in some direction that is 90 degrees literally from where you came. You're approaching the cordon, and you see that you had come out of it through a lengthy tunnel that extends past the dirty outside of the cordon. The outside wall of the cordon is Tent City. There are it is an extended homeless camp all the way around it. You are stopped by a security gate before entering that tunnel that goes back into the cordon. And once you're in that tunnel, all of that becomes out of sight. Does anybody have any questions or want any clarification on that?
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Is it on the inside of the wall or the outside of the wall?
It's on the outside of the wall.
So it's not in the section that we were just in.
Right. So let me draw
How
another.
did we see it?
Well, let me just draw another quick little thing for you here. Select. Let's get rid of that. So this is the cordon, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tunnel that you enter, this is not to scale. The tunnel that you enter goes across like this, with all of your ships and such on the inside, as well as bustling trade and all that going on in there. And all of the homeless encampment, the tent city, is all, as far as you can see, around like this.
Gotcha. So it's in the section that we were just in, and it's against the wall going into the ship area.
Yes, it is. The cordon. I drew this wrong way. The pretend that this is I think it goes like this: south, north. Wait, other way around. South, north. Sorry.
It's fine.
That stupid leg
I mean,
over there.
You could have totally played it off. None of us would have been able to tell.
It's actually important for their culture.
Okay.
The directions having meaning for them. So you've been traveling a ways along, traveling south a ways on the street as you left the city center, and at the edge of the city is where this cordon is. The cordon is quite a large area, so it covers a large area at the edge of the city. But as far as you can see, as you're traveling towards this tunnel, is where all of these squatters, homeless Scarabians, or homeless others, are living in tents, in boxes. There are campfires or garbage can fires. And then presumably, there's also city walls going across. Does that clear that up?
Yes.
So, all right, that makes sense.
All right.
So
You're all.
that-
Yep. You all ready for a break?
Yep.
Yeah.
I just have one more question.
Okay.
So, what's the details on the elite sleeve that our friend Nemesis
Yeah.
got for us?
Oh, you're gonna have to spend some time analyzing that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll have time while Zoe does her things with trading.
Mm-hmm.
I should probably note what projects I'm actually working on. I assume it's not a project and that's just a separate thing, but
Yeah, no, that won't require you to spend a project on it.
Okay, well, I'm going to go use the restroom now.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put us on break. Come on back at about 1:25 Pacific.
Cool.
the end is coming, Xander.
Oh God,
This
this
hurts.
hurts me. Oh yeah, this hurts you. Yeah, great.
All right, I will put a quick pause on the other background music. And then
Hello from Sophia, ABN, reporting from Holawu. 6 weeks is an afterthought on the lush plains of Tahaioa Oa. But to those suffering the incessant beep and droning rumble of daily life in space, it's an eternity. And an eternity is what it took for the chiefs to deny support of Skybound Station, with a simple reasoning, and I quote, Tahaioa Oa is to remain sacred by land and sky. A permanent station simplifies and corrupts the ritual that starbound youth must face if they wish to tread the stars.
that one was very, very much out of order because of technical difficulties. These are more current. 1220.
Despite rising interest on EGO, investors have been skeptical about Winvincible's profitability outside the happy violent planet. She's just one performance from a gory end, said an anonymous cutie pop manager. She's an outsider. And that's all she has going for her. Mark my words, when this Winnie the Whoever is dropped by a stray bullet, nobody will remember her or her silly songs. Someone clearly disagrees. ABNN was unable to identify Winvincible's mysterious benefactor, but a sudden and large infusion of cash has allowed destructive distortion to overcome the exorbitant extraplanetary distribution costs. Winvincible truly is against it all. Pick up your copy today. Clementine again, gushing with love, and still reporting for ABNN.
I don't like that exact sign off.
Like gushing with love.
Yeah,
Nothing
I'm
wrong
not.
with gushing with love.
I'm not a fan,
Do you not like the phrase gushing?
especially not with love.
Well, take it up with Clementine.
I don't think I
what-
want to speak to Clementine.
How much does
Doesn't want to
this
speak with you either. Probably got to
does
talk to our
this-
agent.
record cost? Because I'm into it.
That's just a few credits. Maybe 1 or 2.
Shit, I'm in.
All right, you gotta produce the record for us now.
All right.
This sounds like exactly the kind of thing Zoe would listen
Alright.
to.
I say we form a Raza idol group.
Form? Excuse me? Already have one.
This responses make it all worth it. Thanks, you guys. All right, and last one.
For the first time since opening at the turn of the century, the Nox has closed an entire arm of its sprawling septopod structure. The impressive megastructure, Frankenstein together from numerous smaller shipyards that survived Nox Irae, plays a vital role in the Yada's exodus from Anti, and its imminent collapse into a black hole. No official statement has been released. As if a comforting torch, guiding Artemis Black through the dark, is sputtering to an end ahead of its world. This is Sophia with ABNN, forecasting doom from the Nox.
I appear to have changed some things in the voice recording that I did not change in the the text.
It's fine. It's fine.
It still gets the gist across.
I'm genuinely surprised that word has not gotten out yet what happened there.
It has. It's just taken a very long time. That was actually the first. That was the first event for the Nox, and that occurred on December 21st. It's now been that news has reached Hastro 2 days ago, from where you guys are currently at.
Gotcha.
So there have been 2 more months of development over there at the Nox that you guys are unaware of. And that was after speeding up the news transmission speed.
So that game was 2 months ago in setting.
Yes.
How long ago was the crash on Camiego?
The crash on Camiego. Let's see. New Raza. Galactic Mandate was forced to retreat on October 12th. So 3
Okay.
months ago. A little bit over 3 months ago.
Yeah, they almost certainly think our Galactic Mandate characters are cursed now. Oh well.
Yep, oh well. Okay.
Anyway.
Don't think anything else should come up if you spend another 3 days here. Nope. Excellent.
Alright, so let's watch Walter's video and then I'll analyze all this data and then Zoe can trade.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna look up. How much space do we have left?
Oh, most of it.
Okay,
It's
so
all out there.
I was just gonna get some medical stuff.
And
scroll back and find where that was.
I realize that I've been short shrifting you on the available cargo space because of those changes that I made to the ship. It no longer has just 200 tons of cargo space. It has however much free mass you dedicate to it. I'm going to reverse justify that as that extra mass that you had outside of my calculations is not suited for cargo space, but it could easily be converted with just some work by your crew if you want to occupy some of those extra compartments, some of those extra rooms that aren't doing anything right now for cargo space.
Okay.
So essentially, you could have 200 tons of cargo space available for every point of free mass you have.
So we've got about
We-
1,000 tons of cargo space right now.
Yeah, we have basically infinite.
Because we already had one mass dedicated, and we have 4 spare mass.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
And the advanced lab has actually been added. That was actually 2 mass all by itself.
Yep, yeah, that's already been included in that. So we have 1,000 tons of cargo space. Do whatever you want,
Okay.
Miss Trader.
Interestingly,
Yep,
it's showing as 0 available mass.
Yeah, I changed the amount of mass put into the cargo.
Oh,
I already
gotcha.
set it to 5.
Perfect. Cool. All right. So we've got you guys. This is the end of your first 3 days here, during which time you got the materials and equipment for Jai's lab, and you've got people carting that back and forth and starting to work on putting that together. You can work at a rate of 25,000 credits worth of cost per day, so it'll take 10 days before the advanced lab is up and running. 3 of those days are going to be taken up by Zoe's next trading sequence. Sorry, I interrupted myself. And at the end of that 3 days also is when you did this tour, and beginning into the next set of 3 days, you did this tour as Zoe's also starting to set up her trade. I'm going to roll the chance of, or what the trade comes out to. Xander, do you need me to repost
No, I
the
got you.
Dow ships? Okay, good.
I don't remember what we agreed was the like the amount of the outship, or how much there was. It was like 10 tons.
Let me ask you what you mean by that. 10 tons for what? For what's
Like-
available here?
Yeah. How much outship is there?
Oh, the limits were on other planets or other systems. Scarab doesn't really have a such a low limit. Like if you try to do 1,000 tons, probably will limit that. But I have a feeling that the limit that you face for trying to buy something from Scarab will
It's gonna
be,
be money.
yeah, your money
Yeah.
or your discretion. How much do you actually think that you'll be able to sell at a place like Kamiega?
Yeah. Kamiega needed medical stuff, I think I remember.
Yeah.
Because we were gonna get
Remember, they've got a
scab
bunch of
kits.
right, and they've got a bunch of small settlements, so it might not be easy to sell all that at once.
Yeah. And I remember I was gonna buy one thing of Sun products just for you to play with or whatever. I don't know what you were gonna do with it.
I don't really care. I'm pretty sure that's all included in the advanced lab stuff anyway, so it's not really necessary. Is that correct, Dex?
The Sun products or
No details about like chemical whatever for research.
Yeah, we were. It said it was useful byproducts, and so he was asking if that was gonna be something that would be
oh,
helpful.
right. Not really. It's all stuff that Jai is already familiar with. There might be some new things in there because they have different procedures.
I just ignore it. I'd say
Yeah.
get whatever you feel you could actually sell.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. I think 20 tons. Yeah, it might be low, but look, I don't want to just dump everything on.
You could always
One.
sell slaves.
I could.
Excuse me, sir. The term is discontinued models.
If you like.
That is the polite term for it.
But yeah, they're slaves.
They're actually not for the Scarabians. They're prisoners.
But like in America, prisoners are generally slaves.
Eh.
I mean,
Yeah, I think maybe not so much here. I think they are just legitimately slaves here at Scarab, but they're being sold as we don't want to incarcerate these people anymore. Take them somewhere else and give them to somebody who will do something with them. That's slavery.
right.
So Zoe is trying to set up some trade opportunities for scab kits, right?
Yep.
She's trying to buy scab kits. While she's doing that, that's going to take her 3 days to have an idea of what kind of pricing she's going to get or what kind of situations may come up. And in that time, what are the rest of you doing?
What was the? Have you had chances to decide what the manipulator arms would cost for the drones?
Yes, that's going to be a research project for you.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you'll develop the mod yourself, and then can apply it as you want.
Okay. In that case, I probably want to stock up on some Well, oh, let's see. I guess the question is the spare parts. I guess I could keep dipping into the ship stash, but
And to actually answer your question, yes, I also did determine what the cost of them would be. It'll be 5,000 credits.
oh, ugh. Yeah, that's 10,000 credits of spare parts. But I
For
guess
one or for two?
well, one, because so building the fittings out of spare parts is double cost, right? But I guess if I develop myself, I could use the spare parts to develop them at cost, right?
Yeah.
I guess that would be the difference there. Okay.
That would be my intention with that. Yes.
I guess that would be a future research project for me too. Is making parts at cost a future benefit I could look at.
I think I put into my quick draft of them that pretty much anytime you develop your own mods. Oh, I didn't specify that, but that is my intention. Is that if you develop your own mods, you still have to pay the parts to apply them, but it's going to be at cost. It's not at the additional cost.
Yeah. It's not. I guess not jury rigging, but it's the same idea. Okay. How much are spare parts? 25 each.
50 each.
Oh, 50 each. Okay. So I could do what 100 spare parts for 5,000 credits.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll do. I'll do that. I'll get 100 spare parts for my own personal supply.
Okay.
That I'll keep separate from the other.
That is that's easy to buy. Anybody else do anything during these 3 days?
Just putting Joy's lab together.
Okay.
I already said I was going to look at the Walter's video and then analyze the data on the elite sleeve.
I did
and
forget.
then presumably I'm also going to see Nova and ask Android what the fuck happened.
Let's do Walter's video real quick. So, after you guys have parted ways with Muzi and have gotten back to the Marauder, Jai is able to check his data slab with a little bit of privacy. And he sees that he's gotten another message from Walter. This one transmitted as a video message.
I check it.
It is Walter looking...
Alright, I throw it away.
Okay.
No, let's keep going.
It is Walter looking pressured and stressed, but also seems to be a bit relaxed, oddly enough. You're not real sure when he last took his medicine. But he tells you, he's addressing Jai specifically, says, he thanks Jai for the help and the support, even if it was for your own motives, and hopes that you got whatever you were looking for out of your experiments on him.
Didn't even really experiment on him. I joked about it, but I never did.
And he chuckles. He might be joking or he might be serious.
Maybe he seems to do it without his knowledge.
And he says that he has been not haunted per se, but distracted by this portrait of a woman that he found in his room the day you all woke up. And he had put out some feelers to try and find out who she is or where she is. He just found some information on that. And while you guys were all out doing strange things and probably getting in trouble without him, he has made the decision to make his own way. He's not going to burden you with this quest. And you can, now that he's talking about it, you can see in the background that there's a ship with their access stairs or whatever ladder down and waiting for him. He kind of motions back to that and says that he'll be traveling on the we'll figure out a name for the ship later on, to Thurid in Kuti Tahirti.
The name of the ship is the to be determined.
I'm fine with that.
They thought it was funny at the time, but now that they've had to say it a bunch of times, they don't think it's as funny.
That's perfect. And they've probably also just resorted to calling it by its actual call sign.
The TBD.
Yeah, the TBD-717.
Oh dear.
So he's leaving on the ship to be determined, and he has to. He expresses this. He has to know if he did anything to harm this person, and try and make amends. This is far stronger than any medication that you could prescribe to me, Doc. And so I'm hitching a ride with these folks and with these people, and I will come back to the ship when I can. Thanks again for everything, Doc, and I hope you find your memories back if you want. It's a bad idea, but if you want them, don't do it. Bye.
You really encapsulated him there.
All right. God. I'm torn. There are two options for how to respond to this. I think I'm going to go with the funnier one. And Jai, before he leaves the system, Jai will reply to the message. The reply says K.
Your phone who dis.
Okay.
No.
Oh, see, I was expecting, okay, but while you're gone, make sure you tap your wrist 3 times every morning or you will explode.
But no. Yeah, I'll just... Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure we'll see you again at some point, Walter. Good luck. But that was like 15 minutes after I replied with K, so...
So the first thing he'd sent was K.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, I'll clip this out and make it a highlight so that Vision can also take a quick look at it later. All right. Now I believe Jai was going to return to the ship with most of the things that you guys wanted to do on Scarab completed, and only waiting on Zoe to work out this trade agreement. Jai comes back to the ship. Checks medical logs. Is that a thing that he does?
Yep.
Sees that there is a crew member receiving treatment.
Wait, how long did it take to treat her? Of course, that's been forever.
Only in game time.
Yeah, it's been about 2 days. She wrenched quite a lot of her muscles in that. That's gonna take some time to repair. She did some pretty severe damage to herself.
Wait, were we on planet that?
Yeah, you guys have been on planet for 3 days. Remember, you get Zoe's
travel time.
box at the end of those 3 days.
Gotcha.
So
I mean, the ship is even in orbit around another planet, so there's that too.
I thought you guys brought the ship over to
No.
orbit around Scarab.
They flew the Marauder over. The ship
Right,
is still around the guest planet.
Okay. I knew that
Well.
you flew the Marauder over, and I knew that you gassed up the Raza while the Marauder was over, but I thought the plan was also to bring the Raza over to Scarab after the fueling.
I think it
No?
was, actually. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Does it matter that much?
it was actually, because I remember we had the whole discussion of, okay, the Marauder gets there in what was it? The Marauder gets to the planet in 24 hours. The Raza gets to Shali to refuel in 16 hours, and then can go to Scarab and get there in 32 hours. I remember that part. So that was the initial plan. Has Android changed her mind on that?
In that case, that just passed by me because Android would have protested from the start just because of the Galactic Mandate presence and all the other ships. That it would be insane to bring that well-known ship into orbit around the world like that. While around the gas giant she can hide.
Jai? The one downside to it is that it would make bringing all the materials and stuff that you're transporting to the ship for the lab, makes that entire process take longer.
Yeah, I think Jaya just ignored her in this case.
Okay. It taking longer isn't really an issue. You'll still have it all done by the time Zoe's finished with her second trading run here. It just means that you can't actually begin putting all the stuff together until the second 3 days has passed. In fiction, you will have started it, moving some things in, but mechanically, it's going to take 10 days from this second 3-day period.
All right, fine. We'll do the wait.
Okay. All right. Then it takes Jai a bit longer to get to the ship. And he doesn't have a whole lot of extra time on the ship. It's taken him 24 hours to get there, and it'll take him 24 hours to get back, so he's got 1 day on the ship. If he wants to pick up Zoe and the rest of them.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they can come on their own, or they can send the ship and have him pick them up on their own. He doesn't have to go back out.
Yeah, that's true. In fact, it's very true that Android could just pilot the Marauder over there with nobody in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, good point. So he's got 2 days. This is about 4 days after Nova was injured then. And the worst of it is done. She's basically just in a recuperation stage. So if Android doesn't want her to continue to be restrained to the medbay, then she would be back in her room. She doesn't need to be there, but it would be helpful for her.
To be in the med bay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then she would be there.
Okay. Well, helpful for her recovery, maybe not her mental state.
Well, yes, for recovery. So, yeah, med bay.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
So we're back on track. Jai comes in. He finds that there is a medbay alert for him. There is a crew member receiving treatment. There's not much else as far as ship alerts go, except for the thousands of error emails that Android has sent him.
Mm-hmm. That's about what I figured. All right, Jai's going to hurry on down to medbay then.
Okay. He finds Nova in a on one of those beds, strapped down. It's not in its normal position, suggesting that she has tried to knock it over. She may even have been successful once before Android stabilized it. Well, no, my bad. I keep thinking of these places as like gravity always works here. No, she's not been able to move this bed, but she
Right.
has damaged it.
Nova, what happened exactly?
Huh. Trying to get into her mindset now.
It looks like you have bruises, and appears to be some damage to your cyberware. Were you in some sort of fight?
She hisses, I've been locked in this bed for a week.
Android?
Jai knows that can't be true.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. I was like, all right, have we been here longer?
No.
We've been gone for 4 days?
Yeah, this is day
quite a
4.
bit long.
Yeah, she didn't do well in basic math classes.
Yeah, it's fine.
You would have been there before you left,
All right.
unless you can time travel.
Right. You weren't in here when I left, and we've been gone 4 days.
Fine, 4 days.
All right, I'm going to examine her injuries and determine when she received them in our travel.
4 days actually is fairly accurate.
Great. All right, so you were injured shortly after we left. What happened exactly?
Your
I'll get you out of
android
here.
tried to rip me apart.
Why exactly?
Her anger, glowering anger subsides a little bit, and she looks down. She's clearly looking for a way to continue this response. And finally, I attacked the other android.
I see. Were you out of your room and met her in the halls? You shouldn't have been both walking
No,
out at the
she
same
brought
time.
that thing to me. She taunted me with the oppressors of my people. She is
See.
straining against her ties again.
Hold still, Nova. I need to repair some of the connections. It doesn't look like the autodoc managed to fully reintegrate your cyberware, the damage you did to your cyberware with your system. Hold still a moment, and I'll get you out.
She looks like she's gonna put up more of a fight to that, but quickly just slumps back and fine.
All right, I'll finish up what I actually need to do, and then
Give me a heal check.
okay.
Oh, he's not good at those.
Yeah, I'm the worst at these.
This isn't genetic, so it's not an auto success for you, but it is
I
easy difficulty.
I have heal 3.
This
And
is
heal
unexpected, so I'm still making you roll. Nova has a cold.
She has a she has a cold.
Yeah.
I mean, she had.
Quarantine.
Yeah, she is on a... Hilarious.
Great.
When she is quarantined.
All right.
Yeah.
Hold still, Nova. It seems you also have a cold. Not sure how that got on the ship.
I mean, the rest of us get colds all the time. We just take the pill. It cures
Yeah,
it.
that's true. Hold still. I have something here that I think will work with your Trin biochemistry.
She holds still.
It's just I have no idea what the medicine would be.
Yeah.
Is it a shot? Is it a pill? Or
It'll be one of those quick shots, little
Alright.
tab thing.
perfect?
hip-
A hypospray.
Hypospray, yeah. For some reason, I want to say that hypnospray, but that's pretty sure that's a Pokemon move.
Probably.
And a porn move.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come
Yeah,
on,
I'll
man.
give her a hypospray.
I restrained myself from saying suppository when you said what kind of medicine was it. So,
All right, fine. I'm in the wrong here. Yeah, but I would think of a hypo spray as more for external wounds. This should be a shot, but the details of it aren't as important. What's more kind of important is let me refresh my memory. Jai did take a medical scan of her when she got on ship, right?
Yep.
I thought so.
It's Jai.
Yes. She was exceedingly disease and virus and bacteria, harmful bacterial infections free when she got on the ship.
Yeah, because the Death Planet kills anything.
Right.
The Death Planet kills everything.
Yeah, the allergens kill the cold, right?
Yeah,
Sure. The
Look,
sh-
they
she
can't handle a runny nose any better than the rest of us.
the Trin typically have fairly good immune systems due to their own genetic evolutions and improvements, and that's not something that she should be suffering. That's why it was a roll. This is an unusual situation for her to be experiencing.
All right. Can I get any guesses as to why she's experiencing it?
You don't need to. Your heal check is sufficient enough for you to just say that Jai looks further into it and me to give you more information.
Okay.
Jai looks further into it. She actually appears to be immunocompromised. That's
Boy, howdy! I hope that's not a side effect of the allergen medicine.
That's interesting. Okay, you appear to... Okay, this is not what I expected. You appear to be immunocompromised. Let's see.
her lips tighten and she tenses up.
Has anything happened other than the, I guess, attack on you by Android? Has anything else that might explain this? Or actually, might it be explained by the attack on her by the android? I don't know if there's some cybernetic immune system that might have been damaged.
That's not something that should be able to be explained by the attack from the android.
Okay.
No form of physical exertion should really be able to create this.
Okay.
Because I have virus injectors implanted in my hands.
You probably don't, I assume.
Yeah,
She's
but how
probably
sure
lying.
are you?
Yeah, like 80-50, she's lying.
Yeah.
The odds of this being a new issue that has come up are incredibly slim. This is something that if she's immunocompromised now, then she's probably been immunocompromised for a very long time. Unless she literally caught something that just stripped her immune system within the last 4 days.
And would the Trin have had anything on the planet while they were...
Would they be able to tell? I mean,
yeah.
The whole point of putting them on the planet is not to have their technology, right?
Right.
Yeah, kind of. The Trin have, in your experience, they're proven crafty enough, despite their lack of technology, that something they might have been able to fashion up something to detect this.
Let's see. Were you aware of this before you boarded the ship?
I was born like this.
Well, new plan. Like I say, I just have to fix this issue then.
It's not something you can fix.
Do you want to bet?
How much do you know about cybernetics?
More than the vast majority of humans.
I doubt that.
Well, let's check my no roll.
Is he going to science at her?
Can I theorize something real quick?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sciencing
Would
at
this
her.
be? I'm gonna say, would this be a system strain issue?
It's possible.
Yeah, it's a distinct possibility. But yeah, I'm sciencing at her with no 12.
Her face relaxes a little bit. Tightness fades. But that's followed by an errant tear, and then further tightening of her face. She is getting angrier the longer he talks.
Well, he'll stop eventually.
That's pretty normal.
He just wanted to make a point. Yeah, that's normal. Initially, you're like, oh, he's actually a doctor, and then, oh, he doesn't stop.
It just keeps talking in one long, unbroken sentence, moving from topic to. Nobody else? Nobody else. Seriously?
No,
God,
no,
it's
I know it.
familiar.
I was just gonna let you keep going.
It's a Captain Picard song.
Yeah.
um,
I'm sorry, I'm more of a DS9 person.
she
It's got nothing to do with that. Pogo.
struggles a little bit against her bonds again. Release me,
The
I'll show you.
Okay, I release her.
She leans up, sits up, stretches. I'm going to destroy that android.
No, you're not.
She put me here.
Yes, she did, and that's why I'm going to destroy her. Not
Can I
completely, but I'm
watch?
probably going to hit her on the head. Or something.
She asks that, can I watch?
Yeah, you can. Oh yeah,
yes,
in.
physically.
Are we
but-
selling tickets for this?
Sure. Look, that is entirely not the point. The
Fine.
point is, you are immunocompromised, and I am going to fix this issue.
If you can. She reaches up to the screen and fiddles about with it. She's not entirely familiar with your interface, but she ends up getting to a display of her. She zooms in and points at a point on her body model, and hang on real quick. Dang it, I moved from that page. Hang on. And says that she has an immunodeficiency compensator. Right there.
See. And that's been damaged, I take it?
It's been glitchy my whole life.
Well, if I may be so bold, the solution might not be a cybernetic one necessarily. This is better dealt with if you're through genetic therapy. While I'm familiar with cyberware, I'm not nearly as much of an expert on it as your people are. But I am an expert
She
in
sneezes.
genetic medicine.
Just all over you. It's so wet. It's so gross.
Yeah, this look. This
Not
is
literally
the
on
most-
Jai.
This wouldn't even be near the most disgusting thing Jai's dealt with. Remember that time Walter threw up on him?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. No, she doesn't sneeze directly on him. She just sneezes.
No, his mouth is open because he's talking directly into his mouth.
He's not looking at her right now.
Stop it, Xander.
Look, I gotta entertain myself somehow.
Apparently. The point is, while I am a researcher and while I am the captain of the ship, the first thing I am, much as others in the crew might pretend otherwise, is a doctor.
A what now?
A doctor.
Oh, okay.
And I am going to help you.
With all due respect, Captain, I don't think I trust you enough for that.
That's... I may point out that your elder did order you to obey my orders, didn't she?
I'm not letting you experiment on me.
I'm not asking you... I'm not going to be experimenting. Genetic therapy is a tried and true science, and we'll only need to be making some modifications to account for your more unique biochemistry.
You don't even know trend genetics. This is madness.
No, this is the Raza.
I mean, that is madness, but
And he was laughing at the wrong word too. It wasn't experiment, it was let.
We got jokes today.
Continue, Lulu, if you can.
odd. I assure you, I know more of your biochemistry than most living humans likely do. And I have more access to the means to improve on that knowledge than basically anyone else who could be bothered to do so.
Can we
So-
just fix the pump? Or the compensator?
If it's been glitching your entire life, you were on that planet for what, 8 years? You'd lived 15 before that, and you hadn't had it fixed in that time frame. Why?
It was just an inconvenience.
Nevertheless, one that needed to be addressed. It's odd that it wouldn't be fixed in that time frame unless there was a reason not to do so.
1 second. Trinita Fade has much less sickness. Had much less sickness. I only got sick once while I was there.
Okay. Dex, could I roll something to know if fixing this would pose any issues versus the genetic therapy?
Yeah. You've taken some cybernetic knowledge into Jai's brain. Go ahead and roll a heal check on that. It depends on how glitchy it is. If it's frequently glitchy, then yeah, no, the therapy is a better choice. Fixing it should be a quick and easy thing that could be done. Excuse me. While he's in the process of trying to fix her genetically, or studying it, and he could certainly do his studying without actually doing anything to her, and just keep taking genetic samples to work on.
All right. I think I can do that then if I can perform the work on the genetic therapy and get that ready to go while trying to fix this thing up. I think I'll go that route.
Okay. Yeah, the fix fixing the cybernetics, depending on how it's damaged and how it's glitchy, or sorry, not fixing it, but getting it working again should be easy.
Okay. In that case, very well. We'll, for the time being, we'll prep to repair your damaged compensator.
Don't tell anybody about this.
I wasn't planning on it, but I do strongly advise considering the genetic therapy while we go through this process. It'll be a much longer term solution.
I don't deserve that level of effort.
Well, no one really deserve is deserving. It doesn't
Kind of crinkles an eyebrow.
I wouldn't. I don't see why you wouldn't deserve it. The way I fear it, there isn't any. there isn't anyone who deserves, well, improvement any less. Everyone can benefit from this sort of advancement.
You're talking in
To
circles.
Not at all. To insist that you deserve it is any less than any other human being, than any other Trin, is fundamentally absurd. If anything, if you see yourself as so much lesser, then it becomes all the more important that you improve yourself and become something more.
She scrunches her eyes at him. She doesn't seem to be in complete agreement with him, but she's not arguing.
Do you think there are areas in which you could improve? Not just in terms of your learned skills, but your baseline capabilities?
I've already said, and Sirius has said, I've hit my potential.
Then do you not have an obligation to seek improving your potential, both for your own benefit and that of your people?
It's not worth the time.
I'm not doing anything else.
You could be.
Well, I could be, but this benefits this, well, but this is what I'm interested in doing.
No. Just getting a little bit angry now. If you think you're so smart, you find a way to get my people off that planet. Stop wasting time with me.
Getting your people off an understanding of you and a greater understanding of your genetics will better enable me to do just that.
Fine, then use me as an experiment. Not to fix me, but to help my people. That's the only way I'm going to be of any use or any value.
Then I assure you, we'll be doing both.
Fine.
Because that is how it works. Perfect. I'll get the therapy prepped. We'll get to work as soon as you've recovered from your injuries. For the time being, why don't you return to your quarters? I'll have a talk with Android shortly.
Okay.
It's not what you promised.
I'll have a talk with Android shortly.
I think you said you were going to hit her in the head.
Yeah, I did say that. I said a lot of things.
Alright. Nova does find her way back to her quarters. And goes inside as she was told. She doesn't go searching around the ship hunting for an android.
Alright, I'm going to ping Android really quickly.
Yes.
Android, what in hell were you thinking?
Thinking.
About trying to drag, what do we call her now?
Nova.
Tina.
Tina. Was she N4 or something before?
22N-4.
Right. What were you thinking about dragging N4 into this? Into trying to meet with her? You know Nova's has a poor reaction to it due to the, well, very recent, to be blunt, genocide.
Risk assessment.
Risk assessment.
It was entirely possible Tina had hidden objectives and directives
And you
upon
thought
actually encountering a twin.
and
Also, I had to see what Nova would do.
And you thought the best option to do this was to just bring them into direct contact with only you to attempt to interfere without informing any of the other crew members, I might add.
Well, yeah, all they got to do is hug it out. That solves genocide, right?
Yeah, that's definitely it.
Any other crew members would have been at risk.
Any other crew members could have told you this was a poor plan, Android.
It was the only way.
No, it wasn't.
How do you detect a hidden agenda? Or a directive that's given that will trigger upon contact?
Well, in the android's case, computational analysis.
Wrong.
Oh, Android? This isn't negotiable.
She's self-destruct.
God.
It
If
isn't.
if you think about doing anything like this in the future, you will report to me first and tell me in explicit detail what you intend to do. Then we can maybe come up with a reasonable plan that doesn't involve you seriously injuring one of the parties involved.
I did not injure her.
Android, she had multiple marks that were not self-inflicted. She was very
thought your
clearly
medical
thrown to the
survi-
floor.
She was being held. Every other damage was self-inflicted.
Android, just report to me when you think about doing something like this and tell me what you're planning to do. Don't do things that can possibly injure members of this crew, or our guests or prisoners, or risk damage to the ship. If N4 had, as you had suspected, a hidden agenda and opted to fire a laser cannon out of her, was it face or arms or what? Dex?
Arms.
Arm.
Arms,
Out of her
even.
arms and
Torso.
yeah, and damage the interior hull of the ship.
I was gonna say, yeah, Tina is very well equipped to damage the ship from the inside.
That damage would have been negligible.
Hmm.
Damage to crew would have been fatal. Damage Nova inflicted would have been fatal to crew.
This is exactly why I don't want you to go off and do this on your own, Android.
I'm the only one capable of doing it.
And you're not doing it on your own. Just for the time being, fine, just stay away from Nova, and well, she'll probably try to attack you again if you go anywhere near her. She'll probably try to attack N4 if she goes anywhere near her.
Yes.
So I want you
now
both.
I know that.
I want you both to. I could have already told you that. Both of you just stay away from Nova. And then. If I want all your conversations with N4 recorded in the future.
No.
No?
No.
Why not?
You are not my owner.
I am the captain of the ship.
Which means
I'm telling you to do this as your captain.
you are not my owner.
It's going poorly. Okay, Android, can I get you to do anything reasonable?
Yes.
Great. Does that involve not harassing Nova and not intentionally starting fights?
I did not start a fight, but I have
Yes.
no desire to harass her. There's
Android,
no point in doing so.
Android, this is entirely your fault. You have to realize that.
I told her not to initiate violence.
Oh boy.
I asked her to desist.
All right, I'm turning off the comms. I give up.
All right.
I'll support Jai that he's not crazy.
Great.
The android, on the other hand.
Great.
All right. Well, let's get an idea of what the rest of you are doing. I would like to, in the next half hour, kind of wrap up at Hastro, unless something else comes up, and get you guys on your way to Kamiega. I had projected to Epsilon that I expected you guys wouldn't make it to Kamiega until about 3 hours into the session, and unfortunately I've overshot that. We've overshot that mark, so my prediction was off.
Yeah, it'll be. I'm sorry. It'll be next session. We'll probably introduce you.
Yeah,
That's fine because like my character's not ready, so we're all good.
Okay.
yeah, I didn't expect character introductions this session. I was just I was guesstimating that you guys would make it there this session.
Well, we'll get there by the end of the session.
Yeah, roleplay takes precedence, and don't worry, I've made that clear with Epsilon that we do tend to spend some time roleplaying.
Ramble.
Roleplay.
Ram.
Potato,
Sure.
potato.
Sure.
Is Nemesis doing anything?
I guess might as well just go ahead and start the ball rolling on the manipulator arm stuff.
Okay.
Since I'm probably swearing under her breath. I'm like, how do they not have that? Like, that's such an obvious drone fitting.
Okay.
It's actually against the law to put arms on a robot, on an airborne robot.
Oh dear.
Well, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah,
What-
I'm not. Don't let that stop you.
What
I'm
is
just letting you know
Nemesis's
why
fix?
everybody else has done it.
I think I have fixed 2 now. Let me double check here.
Okay.
Yeah, I have fixed 2.
Okay, so Nemesis can certainly work that project herself. With some of the project restrictions that I've placed, a ship can only have one active project going at a time until there's an advanced lab set up or an advanced equipment / workshop for that type of project. And you guys are 10 days out from that once this next set of 3 days is passed.
Yeah, but we have the workshop. Don't
uh,
we?
We do. The projects are for the research type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
If you already knew how to build the manipulator arms, if you didn't have to research them, then you could just build those, no problem. The problem that you're facing is that Nemesis has this idea of something that should be an obvious fitting, and it's not. There's no
Finding out why
blueprints
it's
for it. You
Yeah.
basically have to design it yourself. As long as you can get somebody with a fixed 3 skill, Zoe I believe has fixed 3, right?
Yep.
Involved in that research process, then you can use her higher fixed skill as kind of the base. Is that something that Zoe would contribute to?
Yeah, isn't Zoe busy?
She is right now, yeah. Okay.
But I guess once the trading's over, I should be down to help.
Okay.
So if you're willing to wait.
Okay.
Look, I'm sorry.
Android
dude.
can have fixed 3.
Okay. Android also has fixed 3.
Doesn't have fixed 3, but I can switch modes since currently I'm not needed to fly anything. In which case my interlink skill applies to fixing stuff.
Only for ship purposes, though. It wouldn't apply to this kind of research.
Okay. Well, I guess no. Alright.
But Nemesis could start in on it herself.
I'm getting frustrated over it.
Yeah, probably
then
getting a little bit frustrated.
Yeah, then I'll whine to Zoe. Zoe, I can't make this work.
Oh well, you have it on backwards.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure there's something more going on.
Yeah, probably. After the session ends, I will figure out what the points cost is for doing that research. I don't see this as being a difficult thing. It just does occupy the ship's research slot. So any other projects that are going on are put on hold. So that's something that you get to discuss with the rest of the crew.
Okay.
Does anybody else want these few days of research slot? Or do you want to split the time up?
We have. Well, I did mention we wanted. Or well, I already had that one project going, the Psych 2 project. I don't know how close that is to completion. I assume it either is super close. I assume it's pretty dang close at this point.
You've been working on that for quite some time. I'm just going to go ahead and give that one to you. I still haven't figured out where I want the balance point for that to be. But as far as the project itself goes, I'm going to say that one's completed.
Okay. In that case, well, there's the Trin thing for Nova, which I assume would that cost a research project?
If you're trying to fix her genetics so that she's not immunocompromised, yes.
Then yeah, I do want to do that. So I guess it depends on how long making grappling arms would take, or whatever it is you want to do.
Manipulator arms. I mean, I guess you could grapple with them, you know.
If you combine it with the heavy lift, then probably.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any real overlap. I don't know really why either of them would interfere with us doing the other one, but
just the mechanics that I've put in play, really.
Right.
Fictionally, you guys can all be working on your own projects at the same time. They'll just progress at a slower rate, meaning that one day gets progress to this project, next day gets progress to another project.
Right. I guess you can do your grappler arm or whatever for a few days, but once we get once trading's done,
Well, that's the thing. I can't really get started until the trading's done.
No, you can get started before the trading is done. The advanced lab it gives you an extra slot.
But I thought the issue was my fixed skill.
Not really. You can still work on it. Zoe just once she's done trading, she gives you more progress.
In that case, would you mind if we just focused on the Trin thing for a little bit and then did your grappling arm? Or no, hold on. Dex, I really need the point scores for these things so we can make a good judgment.
Why don't you?
Didn't he just say that we got an extra slot? Can't we not do both?
You'll have an extra slot once the advanced lab is built.
Gotcha. Keep forgetting that it's not already built.
So I will get you point values for these projects. We've got manipulator arms, Nova genetic therapy, the other one that you had over there, Jai. Anybody else have projects that you want working on?
Not currently.
Socializing the Horclaw?
Yes, that was that.
Okay.
I think Zoe mentioned something about a scanner.
Oh yeah. Scanner for Android brainwaves.
Scan for ADAs. You also had a ship mod that you wanted to research for hiding the status of your guns.
Yeah. Oh god, I'd forgotten about that completely. Yeah. But you said that they would have to like super scan us to even find out that the guns, because regular scans tell them that we have guns,
Mm-hmm.
but to find out that the guns don't actually work, they'd have to do something crazy, right?
They just have to scan you and ask the question: is there anything unusual about our new signatures, or basically ask about the weapons.
Gotcha. And that kind of seems like the thing that they would do if they were about to get into a fight with us.
Yeah,
So,
it's not going to be
yeah.
uncommon.
I guess put that on the list.
Okay.
So what are we? Yeah. All right. We'll see what the point values are for now, and then make a decision.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, my leaning is towards doing the Trin genetic thing. The grappler arm doesn't seem super important, and the other things seem.
Oh.
Well, I'm sorry, but
Call him out
For
like
that, just for that, I'll prank you with it.
Oh,
No,
wait, we're doing pranks? Oh, throw all this other pranks. Wow. Working on arms.
She's basically building a wedgie drone.
I am here for it.
I can shove you out an airlock.
Not if you got a wedgie.
Yeah, try keeping up with the wedgie.
Okay. Yes, I will give you point costs for all of these between now and next session, so that you can make some decisions on those. All right.
Decisions.
What else was Jai and or anyone else doing during these next couple of days?
I still need the analysis on the elite sleeve.
You need the analysis on the elite sleeve. Thank you. Let me get to the right document here. And there we go. Okay. You want me to just post it in a regular chat, or do you want it private?
Send it to me in private.
Oh yeah, because Jai never hides stuff from people that need to know it.
Well, I'm just seeing if you need to know.
Never.
I'm still going to verbalize some things here.
Maybe I can make sense of at least a little bit of it.
Jai, in analyzing this data, which does take him a day or two, is able to identify many things that Dr. Aya did not state. Those genetic defects are pretty significant, and they're evident in all of those sleeves, but suppressed in a way, as you can see there, that they're not going to affect that current sleeve, just any offspring that come from that genetic data.
That sounds like a long-term problem.
Yeah, that does sound like something Jai would be able to resolve when he does his own thing with this, though.
Well, I mean, and you just get your genetic code from before the sleeve and test tube baby it. I mean, that's not an insurmountable problem.
It's not. I guess my question is, would I be able to recreate the sleeve from this data we've collected?
You would need a lot more information. This is just the building block information, but it doesn't actually have any of the building instructions. It would be like getting a Lego kit with all the right blocks, but no instructions of how to put them together.
Okay, so I just need to do research basically on this.
Yeah, he may need to do some more research, and Jai does know that he would need considerably, not better necessarily, but very specific equipment to be able to actually do any of this.
That's fine. We can. It's a good start, and possibly I can get Zoe to be working on the equipment if I can get to that point.
Okay. And as you see there also, this find comes with loot. That blueprint can be used for research involving for anything that involves genetic alteration. You can use that in various ways. I haven't decided the exact mechanics of it, but I believe I've settled on it will depend on when and how you're trying to use it. It just has to be a project that involves genetic alteration in some way.
Now, can we make a copy of that and then sell one of the copies?
Yeah, you can always sell this data to anyone without actually losing it. That's one of the nice things about selling data is you still have it.
Sweet.
In the world, some people who buy the data will want to pay more for an exclusivity agreement, and there's technically nothing stopping you from selling it again after you've sold it to them. It's just one of those trust things.
Well, I mean, we can always just sell it sell it to them and then use it on our own anyway.
Well, also I was gonna say in regards to that, if you're selling out to everyone, it's gonna come back that oh, you're the one that got this information and sold it. If you the more you sell, the more likely it is to be traced back to you.
Yeah, and that's the trust thing. Is if you sell it to somebody with an exclusivity agreement, and they find out that somebody else also has it, they're likely to look at you and say, "We know you sold it, despite us paying you like 100 times more for this data," and they probably won't continue to do business with you.
Right. I don't think I think we'll probably want to try to avoid breaking exclusivity agreements except for doing things on our own with it. But that's basically the extent of it. I'm actually going to post this because Jai would probably Jai sees things that he personally wouldn't want to use, but he can improve on, and he's perfectly fine selling the initial data.
Okay.
So he'd bring that idea up to Zoe.
All right. Let me go to Zoe here. So your role for trying to put together the scab kits, to buy a few tons of those, or I think you said 50 tons actually.
20.
20 tons, okay. Unfortunately, that resulted in the die roll came out to 12. So you would be buying them at the absolute highest end.
Yeah. Ugh. All right. Well, screw it. Whatever. We can find money somewhere else.
Did you
blows.
still want to be looking at the Sun products though, or was that just because of Jai?
Yeah, I was just getting it for Jai, but
You can actually still look into that. That's still useful medical stuff. You could sell that on the planet.
okay.
On Kamiago, I mean.
Yeah, no, I'd look into that too. Once it became very clear that the first sale was not gonna happen because everybody thinks that scab kits are like, I guess with all these new people in town, they probably all got bought out or something.
Yeah, the demand for them has spiked because of that perfect fictional position. Thank you. Has spiked because of all these people here.
Yep, they're all like, well, I'm not gonna get a new body, but I'm gonna have one hell of a first aid kit.
And I'm going to make a slight adjustment to how I've been doing the trade. I think it's fair to roll for multiple things instead of just saying, "Oh, you spent a week doing that. Well, what else you want to do?" So you picked scab kits and sun products. Sun products came up as a 7, so right in the middle.
Yeah, it's average stuff. Yeah, I mean, we'll find something to do with scab kits or with the sun products.
Okay. Where's my calculator?
Because a 7.
So there are 13,020 credits per ton.
Times 7, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that 12? Isn't that 12,852?
1860 times 7.
Oh, yeah, I see what I did. Never mind.
Okay.
Apparently, I cannot work my fingers today. Yeah, okay. So then times, I don't know, 20? Ooh, that's
Yeah.
a lot of money. I'm not sure I actually have that much money. Oh, I have just enough. We're not getting paid next week, guys.
Why don't you only buy 10 tons of it, just to avoid losing everything on medical waste?
You do have some wages coming up in 10 days. Actually, 7 days after this next 3.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
what's the worst thing that happen if you don't pay them while you're mid-transit between systems?
Yeah, what are they gonna do? Mutiny?
Yes.
All right. So let's only get 10. So I'll spend 130,000.
Okay.
And we have to find some place to actually offload some cargo, people.
I mean, this should it's a lot of medical stuff, so it should be valuable on Kamiego.
Yeah. All right. So let me subtract that from my total.
And if you want to note, when you note down the sun products, include the 1860 as the factor, just to so that I don't have to look it up next time.
Yeah, I'll make it easy. Yeah.
In fact, I can actually give you the. Oh, you already have it. Also note down the tags that it has, the medical and biotech, because that's what I look up for determining how much somebody will pay for stuff. Or
Okay.
their needs, essentially.
Where did you already see it?
Did I not include that in your listing that I gave you?
No, you did, but you said that you. I don't know. You made it sound like I had already done something, and I was like,
Oh,
I
no, I was going to copy paste it to you, then I remembered that I already included that in the
Gotcha.
information that I gave you.
Yep. Sun products is right here. So I'll just copy paste that over into vehicle or ship inventory. Put it down with all the other stuff. 10 tons art.
Alright.
While I'm here, are these guys interested in art at all? I keep forgetting that I have this Sue stuff.
You can.
Genderless.
I doubt they want to buy the ship grade metals, but we might be able to move some art. These people seem artsy, and it's not gendered. It's all flamey.
That's true. Let's go ahead and if you want to roll for that, let's say that you did that during your first 3 days here. That way I'm not putting 3 different transactions in a single week. I think that's too far for me.
Well, we're going to be here for like 10 days, right?
You don't have to be. You could build the advanced lab while you're in transit.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
So
yeah, however you want to do it is fine. I don't want to stay here any longer if that is a requirement, but I would like to try and sell this stuff.
it's not a requirement, but that got you a roll of 5.
Well, that's pretty freaking terrible. All right. Well,
They have other interests right now. The merchants that would normally be interested in trying to buy that and then resell it are looking instead to make some business with all the people in orbit right now. So once again, you are being screwed over by the events that are occurring here right now.
All right. You think having more people here would make the price of art go up? Because everybody wants art, right?
Yeah, but the few people you're able to kind of get some kind of commitment from on the ships in orbit, instead of trying to trade with anyone on Scarab, are like, yeah, I'd like a couple of pieces instead of wanting to buy tons of it.
Now,
fair enough.
Could I get a clarification on how the trade system works? Is it just you go into and offer something for trade, and it's just you roll multiplied by the base you roll and get whatever it is multiplied by the base value of the item?
Plus any needs for their tags.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So like if they need art, that's a good thing, because then your 5 could get like 10.
Right, so we'll use these sun products that you just got as an example. Going to Camiego has medical +3 as a need. So when we get there, I'll be rolling the 2d6. That 2d6 also wraps into any kind of attention. So if I roll doubles on it, which I did for that first one, then there could be some kind of trouble with the transaction. But barring that, let's say that I roll just a straight 3 and a 4, perfectly average on that. It's also the same roll that Zoe bought it for, but because they need it, that 7 turns into a 10, and then we multiply that 10 by the 1860, and Zoe can sell the whole 10 tons of it for that 18,000 or 180,000, and make a bit of profit that way.
I see. And what are the numbers next to the items? I guess because it says like medical 5, tier 5 for the scab kits. What does that mean?
The tier is my pricing structure. So the medical 5 means that that item, that's the item's base thing. There's agricultural, infrastructural. Hang on, let me scroll up here. Agricultural is a base pricing tier of 1, infrastructural is 2, consumer is 3, military 4, and medical 5. So that's that commodity's base price. And then these modifiers like biotech adds +1, luxury adds +2, contraband +2, sapient adds +3, etc. So if you've got something that's medical and sapient, then that puts it into a pricing tier of 8. And that's just a guide more for me, but you can also, it's also useful for you to see, about where it is. Things that are pricing tier of 8 have a factor of 5,000 to 10,000, and for each item I just pick a number within that range, and that is its factor.
I see. Okay.
Ultimately, those tags are only important to you when you're looking at where to sell things. The pricing tier doesn't matter as much except as a quick visual, but
it also matters buying stuff because you don't want to buy something from a planet that needs it.
Well, the way I've got the outship set up, none of these planets are actually ever going to sell anything that they need. I
guess the question is, do they have price reductions on any planet?
Some of the planets have a specific kind of attention that rolling doubles can get you. Like on SOS, rolling doubles is almost always actually a good thing. On other planets, it's generally a bad thing.
That's not what I'm asking, though. I'm asking if there's, because if this planet doesn't seem to have any Scarab has a major export thing where you can buy things cheaply.
Well, yeah, because if they had a major export, the big guys would already be doing it, and then there'd be no money in it for us.
Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to represent with the outships. Is these are things that don't already have major trade contracts.
I see.
All their actual exports are. They're being traded by the heavy truckers, the bulk freighters going back and forth, and they've got all the contracts, licenses, they've got the connections. They have ways to make all of this cheap or valuable for them, profitable for them, where it wouldn't be for you because you don't have that infrastructure. They're trading and they're profiting on much smaller margins than you can on the outships, but the outships are much more random. And to kind of answer your question of is there a way to get it cheaper, that's what the die roll is supposed to really represent, is where this particular outship is in the fiction right now.
It fluctuates and you have to leave and come back and try again.
Yep. Exactly.
Plus, saying fluctuates is a fun thing to do.
Okay.
Is it now?
Fluctuate.
Yeah. Who doesn't like saying fluctuate?
Fluctuate.
All right. I'm not going to give you the satisfaction.
Fuck you then.
Okay. I'm
Totally.
convinced it does sound fun.
Let's just get out of this system, please.
Amazing.
Okay. Um,
Leaving
Yeah.
the system.
I tried to design the loot thing so that it could be fun for the people that want to do it while not being overly involved for everyone else.
Yeah.
And I'm
He made it special just for me.
yeah, more or less. And I'm
Yeah,
definitely willing to
basically.
take any feedback to make it more engaging without making it too engaged.
Well, at some point, I'm gonna hit doubles, and it's gonna be like you have to do this big old long quest.
Oh, you did. Do you want to know what those doubles were going to be if you had,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, wanted to actually follow through?
Well, yeah, but it was a double six. Like
It was double six. So
that's
it,
all. That's always a hard no.
if you had rolled that while trying to sell something, that six would have been great. But the
Yeah,
unwanted attention is a cordon tax. All
Oh.
merchants without papers are assessed a 20 to 50% tolerance tax.
Oh my god.
Basically,
Oh
so
god.
basically, if you roll double sixes, it's worthless.
Well, no, it just means that we have to smuggle it in.
Yes, it creates an adventure option for you. You can either say, no, I'm not dealing with that, or you can try and find a way to get around it.
Dope. I dig it.
Cool. Let's go ahead and get that jump over to Kamiego. Well, to Zenthra.
The only problem with it is that we've been hauling these ship grade metals around for fucking ever. Because everywhere it's like, nah.
You can always see if they'll buy them, and the dice may turn up at 12.
No, like, yeah. I tried last in, oh god, what was the name of that? The place where we got the upgrade. I don't remember
Henry
what it's
Station?
called. Was it Henry
Just the
Station?
shipyard,
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, the shipyard.
I thought, weren't we at the shipyard before we picked up those most of those maps?
No, we've had those ship grade metals literally since
Oh.
the very first planet we went to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can we either leave the system or just
Sorry.
try to roll selling it?
Yeah, let me put you in the Kamiego music. I don't have a scene for it, but that's fine. I believe this does not require a roll from Android, right?
How far of a jump is it?
It's,
One hex.
yeah, it's just one hex.
And less than a year?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, that brings it below.
Okay. So you spend some extra time traveling from Shali, the gas giant, with the fuel station around it, to the edge of the system, and then make a jump to Zenthra. That jump takes you another 2 days, and like I said, I will write down what the cost of these products are, and I'll let you tell you how many days you have, and let you guys decide what you're spending those days on. And as you jump into the Zenthra system, you immediately can see the two different planets, Kamiego and Trinita Shade. Trinita Fade. There are a number of gas giants as well that make it easy for pirates to hide. You're not greeted by any ships patrolling this entry point into the system. Everything looks clear out there. You've made it to Zenthra.
Okay. Let's go examine some vaults.
Okay. Are you going to try and fuel up?
There's nowhere to fuel up here.
That's right. That was part of the thing. So are you going to try and find anybody that can act as some kind of a security expert from the various pirates in and around the gas giants, or were you going straight to Trinitafade?
Look, frankly, it depends on what Epsilon's character is, because I don't know what their character is.
Okay, well
And
then
I
let's.
can't really tailor anything to that.
I thought we were going to swing by Kamiego first.
I think Zoe also wanted to try trading there. That's the purpose of buying
Right.
the medical stuff.
Again,
Yeah.
like, I'm happy to do something for security that just super depends on what Epsilon's making, because I don't really know anything about their character yet.
Okay, let's hold off on that decision. And I'll talk to Epsilon if you've got time, either after the session here or throughout the week, to try and settle in on character concept.
Or, running while you still have time.
Yeah. I'll keep that in mind.